Boom! Go Getters podcast.
Rene Sousa.
Let's go. What's going
That
on?
time. Whoos.
Yes,
How you
sir,
doing
man.
today, man? How you living?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You guys gave me a good excuse to come back to my stomping grounds, you know?
Ah.
So I was like, oh, snap. I got to come say what's up. Went to Kings. Yeah. So it was just like cool to see some familiar faces there and then meet new people that train, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, excited to be here.
Did you come here just for school or were you born here?
No. I was born in Newark, New Jersey.
Ah,
so
okay.
Jersey, born and raised, and then came here primarily for wrestling and the engineering program. They had a really good engineering program that I dropped out of. Shout out to Kings.
Yeah. Also, Kings dropped out right here.
Oh, really?
Wow, yeah.
Sick.
Do a King's drop.
Let's
I
go.
went there for entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And then at some point I had a revelation like, bro, if I want to be an entrepreneur, like I got to go be an entrepreneur.
Let me
Like,
do
why the
it.
fuck
Knock 'em
am
out
I-
of college.
Why the fuck am I at college right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Did you ever feel that you got slack when you tell people that you dropped out of college from like
I was
older
actually listening to
professionals?
the clip of you guys. What did the one guy say to you guys?
Oh, Dish Diggers?
Yeah,
That's
one
the...
guy-
dude,
one guy-
that's a T-shirt right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
a
That-
T-shirt.
That's a good
right
idea.
there.
I never
That's
thought
one
about
I'll
that.
never
Ditch
forget.
Diggers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking about earlier, like with the school teachers and stuff, like that was at such a crazy pivotal moment in our lives too, because that was like right when he and I both were done with school. We were done with college. That was like right after COVID, right?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We were working this like little games event that happens around here, and some random old head guy that we told him we dropped out of college just called us ditch takers. It
But
was
that's so beautiful though, right?
Yeah.
Because it like I feel like obviously it sucks to hear that,
Yeah.
you know, and obviously you're like, oh yeah, I guess maybe I am just wasting my life away, but it challenges you, you know?
Mhm.
And I had it definitely in a different way, but people definitely don't. I mean, my mom still wants me to get a normal job,
Really?
you know? Yeah,
Mhm.
like but it's just you have to accept that not everybody's going to see your vision, you know?
Yeah.
And as long as you're all in on it, I mean, we've been talking for 20 minutes and I can see you guys have a vision of what you guys want to do, and I'm excited to hear a little bit about it on the pod. But
Hell yeah.
like I just think you have to know like the direction you want to go, and you don't
Yeah.
need to know exactly where you're going, but just, you know, hard work and everything else will kind of work out.
What was that like for you? Like when you decided like, nah, like I'm done with school. What was the mindset like going forward? Like, did you have a plan or a vision for what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so I was actually senior year I lived in Kingston. Had
Yeah.
a nice little house right up in Kingston. Would bike to school every day. And I was an engineering major, so I was like doing classes all day,
Yeah.
wrestling lift in the morning, wrestling practice in the afternoon, and then I would teach I taught jiu-jitsu for free every single day from like 7 to 10 every single day, and then would go home and do homework. So it was like long days. So I had like 2 backpacks on. I was biking in Kingston, and I came to this like stop, and like this car didn't stop and it almost ran me over. And it was like early in the morning, had my hoodie on, headphones on,
Yeah.
and it was like almost like surreal, like 15 minutes that I was like almost like outer body experience. Like I
Yeah.
almost like wasn't here, you know?
Mhm.
And I just like sat there for like 15 minutes. I was like, whose life is this?
Mm.
What am I chasing? What
Yeah.
was I hustling for? Like
Yeah.
I was always such a hard worker,
Mm.
in the classroom, in wrestling, in jiu-jitsu. And I was like, what do I even want to do?
Yeah.
You know? And that state kind of like lasted for like a couple of days, and it was like perfectly like right at the end of like finals and stuff. So I was like kind of feeling like, all right, like, do I want to study for these
Yeah.
finals? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And one of my roommates at the time, he didn't even train jiu-jitsu. My other roommate, he was like my second blue belt. So he's like super good guy, but the other guy didn't even train. He told me, he's like, dude, why don't you just do jiu-jitsu? You
Yeah.
love jiu-jitsu. You compete all the time. You're a good teacher. Just do that. And I was like, I kind of like looked around. And I was like, nobody's ever told me that I could go for it like
Yeah.
that, you know?
Yeah.
And at that time, man, I was like 22. I'd traveled the world already. Had been to Australia, had been to Brazil, had been to Peru, all over the U.S., you know, teach everywhere I go pretty much. And just never put like 2 and 2 together that it could be my
Yeah.
career.
Wow.
And I was like following all these guys, you know, everybody coming up. Like my teammates were doing really well.
Yeah.
So the first goal for me that I was like kind of like, all right, like let's all in, was that I love jiu-jitsu, and then if I died tomorrow, the most like impact of my soul that I could leave in this world is if I taught you guys a class right now and then I like died tomorrow. Like that's the biggest impact. So it started like that. And then as I started teaching and just like traveling even more, I started competing more, and I was like, I got to practice what I preach, right? If I'm teaching you guys this, I can't just be like, oh yeah, this works, and then like just kind of like let it be. So then I started competing, and that ball has just been kind of like a snowball, you know, like of momentum. And it's kind of flipped, you know, I kind of have stopped teaching as much. Like I only teach 2 classes a week, and now I just like travel and train and focus on myself. And
that's an awesome lifestyle.
But now the goal is like become ADCC champ, you know, like in the next 3 years, and natty, you know what I'm saying, you know, test it up, you know, and just truly like represent martial arts and like the roots of jiu-jitsu, you know, like all the instructors that I've had and stuff. I'm so privileged to be like in the lineage that I am with 10th Planet and everybody. Like even the people I train with nowadays, some people aren't 10th Planet, but they like support me to the max. Like I don't feel like I want to do it for me. I want to feel like I do it for these people that have like come before us, you know?
So go ahead.
That's interesting because you're also a collegiate wrestler. So I'm wondering, like, you didn't have that same fire for wrestling, did you?
I did at first, man. I was just telling my friends over at Kings that I beat the varsity starter my junior year, and I was like, whoa, I could be good at wrestling, because I was really putting in a lot of work for it, because I knew it was going to help my jiu-jitsu. And then it was junior year of high school, and I was like, man, I can't get a scholarship for jiu-jitsu, so let me focus on wrestling. So I focused on wrestling like super hard, did well, like placed in districts in New Jersey and stuff, and came here, and man, the level was just so different in college. It was so difficult.
PA wrestling, right?
No, in college, I mean. Okay. Like I was, where I grew up was like the 610, like where Jordan Oliver and all these people are from.
Jersey got some dogs too, though, for sure.
Exactly. But so it was literally the worst place to grow up wrestling, because I thought I was horrible at wrestling. And then it was like one day I was teaching a class in Australia, and I was like, yeah, just do a single to a double and do this. And they were like, what? And I was like, oh, you guys didn't grow up with wrestling, you know? But I didn't grow up with it either. I only started wrestling freshman year of high school. So I kind of got started there. But then, man, it was just, the skill gap was very different in college. Like, like my hard work was there, but it's almost like looking at it as a timeline now, I needed to subtract like at least jiu-jitsu to make my wrestling better at the time. And jiu-jitsu has just never been something I've ever wanted to subtract out of my like daily routine, you know? So at the time, like that's what I was kind of lacking, the commitment to like pull jiu-jitsu away and focus on wrestling. But yeah, like college wrestling, like I quit twice in college just because I was like, this is not the vibe. And the first time I quit was because I wanted to focus on my grades, because school was so hard, and I was not good at like numbers, bro. And I was an engineer, and I was like, all my friends would get homework done in like 20 minutes. Took me like hours, bro. But I would sit in the library and like figure it out. But then, I was just like, this is stupid. And then the second time I quit was when I decided to go full in on jiu-jitsu, and I was like, this is my time, and I'm going to go for it.
That's really interesting. So jiu-jitsu is your intro to grappling. You didn't start wrestling.
I started jiu-jitsu when I was in 6th grade. So when I was 11.
Wow.
I'm 26 really cool. now, so 15 years of work on the block.
Yeah. I want to walk back a little bit before when you were talking about like the separation between being a coach and like being an actual competitor in jiu-jitsu. At the time, which did you enjoy more? And even now, which one do you enjoy more?
Man, I still think coach is number one, because coach is like, being an athlete sucks. Yeah. It's so hard. And what being an athlete sucks the worst about is it pulls away the sense of community, because when I'm training, I'm just thinking about me. Especially I'm just thinking about my intent. I mean, in any sort of like MMA, like everybody in the room knows that they're working for this person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a collective, but at the same time, it's just for that person. Yeah. But at the time, I mean, like if we were like watching this like 5 years ago, and like I was saying that I was going to be ADCC champ, like I'd be laughing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, dude, I'm not going to be ADCC champion. Like I could probably barely win some local stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it was just after I committed fully to like teaching and just going for it, man. I just think I have a couple good variables that like even people at the highest level don't necessarily like have. Like I don't know. I think that's how I'm gonna pass these guys in the future. Like I think I need to, like my last match was a really tough match, but I'm just every day I'm getting better technically, and I have like these little things that I think really sets me apart from the best guys, and I think that's what's gonna make me be a champion.
One thing I'm extremely interested in is like, what are your on the mat and off the mat regiments for like training like and your recovery? Like what's your typical schedule like in terms of training?
Jiu-Jitsu is very taxing. Like I've only been doing it for a little under 3 years, and my neck already feels like I'm cracking it all the time. I'm loosening it. I'm trying to strengthen it and stuff. So
Yeah, so I mean, I think the biggest thing that I tell beginners right off the bat, like, unless you're a wrestler, like, you shouldn't be training more than like 4 times a week, you know, because it's just hard on your body. Like when new guys tell me that they're doing 2 days and they're training like 4 times a week, that's like 8 sessions a week. I'm like, you are gonna get hurt, like 100%, like, you know. So what my schedule's like, man, it's just hard. It's hard to describe because everybody's different, but you just have to listen to your body. That's my number one thing, bro. Like, oh, be tough, push through, Jocko, whatever. Yeah, I agree. You have to be tough, but you have to be smart because, right, 22, I'm 26. Like, we cannot get hurt right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the biggest thing. I've always, like, knock on wood. I'm 15 years in jiu-jitsu, wrestling, all this stuff, travel the world, compete. I've never had one injury. Like,
what do you attribute that to?
Just listening to my body, like not pushing. And like what I mean by that is like I don't train 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll train 3 times a week that are my like red line sessions that are like I'm not drilling. I'm just there'll be some drilling and some other stuff, but it's like I'm just pushing like competition pace for like 2.5 hours.
That's really interesting.
And then the recovery aspect of it, I mean, like I hang out with Craig Jones a lot, so like Craig Jones thinks recovery is bullshit, which is just insane. Yeah, he just thinks all this stuff is bullshit, but
he's a wild cat.
He's insane. We could get into wild stories, but for me it's just like the daily things that are so important are like mobility, you know, like I have a physical therapist that I work with like literally like 2 to 3 times a week. I go in, he does like hands-on work on me. I do like compression stuff. I do like stim stuff. But really just the mobility routine. I do pre-training, post-training, and whenever, this is probably a big key one too, as soon as I feel something lacking, like if my knees kind of bothering me or my ankles kind of bothering me or something, like say for example, something that bothers me constantly because I do a bunch of crazy shit is my hip or my lower back will bother me. But instead of just focusing on the hip, I'll focus on the hamstring. I'll focus on my like I kind of like stretch out everything around it and like really prime it really well. And I'm just aware around it. Like for example, like when I was really developing the buggy choke, man, I had to take like months off of doing it at a time because I was really like just sending it and making it work. And then the first key is like being ahead of how like your body's breaking down. Okay, like let's stop, let's change the oil, let's, you know what I'm saying, let's do all these things. But the second thing is to actually do real jiu-jitsu. Like that's the biggest thing I think I do really well, is that like you don't force moves, you're patient in understanding the technique, and when you're doing techniques, like focusing on the checkmate, not focusing on ripping this guy's arm off or whatever, like focusing on like we're playing chess and I'm trying to get you in this spot, I'm trying to get you in this corner where there's 2 spots that you can go and I'm already 12 steps ahead, you know. Like people nowadays I think that jiu-jitsu is going to be like, and you're just going to get it.
That's interesting.
It takes a long time to like get to that like mental checkmate, you know.
So in your earlier years in jiu-jitsu, have you ever struggled with like the egoic mind of a young man and
come on,
wanting to rip people's heads off and win in rolls and stuff like that? Because I feel like I still go through that. And I think that's where I lack the most, I think, in a lot of ways. Is mentally like,
nah, bro,
taking a round off. I feel like a pussy. I feel like other people are looking at me like, oh, you're not training right now, you're tired, okay, pussy. And then I'm like, fuck, I gotta get in there. Like, even if something's hurting or my knees a little banged up or whatever.
No, I mean, I think how you stage the question is important, but then your example is a little bit different. So I think how you stage the question, I think it's really important to be like, oh, like leave your ego at the door. Yeah, whatever. Dude, the whole time you're battling in jiu-jitsu is your ego, you know, because you don't want to lose, right? But the biggest thing that, like, for me, aligning with 10th Planet and Eddie Bravo was like a huge thing that made a huge difference in my life. And then also being an engineer at the same time, I didn't care about roles or what's happening right now, or if you're beating me right now. The question is, how much data am I collecting? How much data, like if you're mindlessly rolling, then yeah, whatever. But, and you need that some days, you know what I'm saying? You have a hard day, whatever. But the data collection and understanding what you're doing and what your goal is and what your work, like, okay, your knee's hurting, sick. Like play guard and get your guard pass and try to get your guard back. Oh, your knee's hurting and your elbow's hurting, you can't really play guard. Let your back get taken and work on not getting choked out. You know, like there's always something to work on when you're hurt. And obviously you need to be aware, because obviously there's always random crazy dudes that are trying to rip stuff on you. And right, if he's a white belt, you're a blue belt, maybe it's not the best to go with somebody that's like that. So there's a lot of different dynamics to play through there. But I think dealing with the ego is always so hard. But I honestly, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really struggled with that much, because I think I had a really good instructor at first that really kind of set it up for me. Because originally I was training with the Gracies. So I was training like, not with the Gracies, but like under same thing as like Jeffrey, so sort of like Gracie's Certified Trading Center. So I had that sort of like Gracie mindset at first, you know, in terms of like being the less athletic individual and having to like wait for the person to get tired. And like, so I kind of had that, and I would always get tapped and I would always get beat, because I was like 11, 12 years old and I was in the adult class, you know, so I was already like getting beat by people. So at first I already had to put my ego down. And even growing up, like even in high school and even college, like, you know, I wasn't like huge and jacked and athletic. Like nowadays I think I'm pretty strong. But it's like it's a constant process that you always just have to pull yourself back, like sort of like what we were talking about before, like the space in between stimulus and response. Like the guy calls you a pussy, like you don't say, all right, let's fucking go. Like you just take a step back and you're like, all right, I can roll, I can do this, or I can just work on this, or like maybe just be honest, be like, hey man, my knee's bothering me, can I work on my armbar escapes? Like,
well, it's not that somebody's calling me a pussy. I think it's that there's a voice in my head that's calling me a pussy. That makes sense. And trying to maybe predict the intentions of other people, which I think is largely due to the ego. You know, maybe it's an insecurity thing. It's still developing. But that's actually the reason that I got into jiu-jitsu was one, I think that every man should know how to fight. So I really wanted to learn how to fight. And then two, I wanted to learn how to deal and handle with my mind better than I currently was. And I think that jiu-jitsu is really interesting in that way, in that it's largely involved with how your mind works.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for sure. So I think, the biggest thing to look at is like when the problem is like right in front of you, it's not, you don't need to go at the problem. Like sometimes you need to take a step back, you know? So like having that other perspective, I think is really huge. And just truly like what they say, like leave your ego at the door, just like saying fuck that and just saying like, whatever, man, it's all like, what is your goal? Like, when I help people at first with their training, right? Like if you guys text me after this and you're like, oh man, like how can I get better next week? First thing I'm going to tell you is I'm like, make a note on your phone and just write intentions, reflections. What are your intentions for class and what are your reflections? That doesn't even come with like the next level of like study material and studying and stuff. But it's just like, all right, today my intention is work on my arm bars. My knee's bothering me. Work on my arm bar escapes. Reflections. How'd it go? I got tapped 10 times in arm bar. All right, let's look at the problem, you know? And yeah, just like breaking it down into like little things, because the emotion part of it doesn't matter. How you feel about it doesn't matter. If you stay pissed about it, then that's more like, for me, I've always looked at it as like, that's more energy that you're just going to waste on like, you know, not getting better at jiu-jitsu. The goal is just not to get good at jiu-jitsu, to beat people up. Like obviously I walk down the street and I know I could beat people up, but I just don't ever think of myself like, fuck you, I'm going to kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless we get some shots of Vesuvios or something. But you know, like, I don't know. And I think that was like just good coaching from me at first, to like, just not, I don't know, it's a different part of you, you know, like, so you got to like kind of work on like, I don't know, for me, things that have helped me like get through like mental health or just like getting through my mindset have been like journaling, meditation is huge. I think jiu-jitsu is a form of meditation, you know? But if you don't know how to just sit and be with your thoughts or just write down your thoughts, like just doing everything to get yourself away from like what you just said. What is the ego, you know? Because the ego is the wrong answer in jiu-jitsu, you know? The ego is like what's going to get you leg broken, arm broken, choked unconscious, you know? And you don't want that.
No, that's like the seeing red guy.
Yes, exactly.
He's basically saying my ego is going to take advantage and act impulsively and stupidly.
And I'm like, good luck.
Right.
And you started jiu-jitsu when you were 11, right? So how long was it taking you to like actually be able to internalize this knowledge that you're now like giving back to us now? Like I would imagine at the age of 11, it's very hard to internalize some of those philosophies.
No way. Yeah. Probably college, man. I really started like reading philosophy and like getting into psychedelics and stuff like that, and I started just looking at things from a different perspective. Traveling a lot. I travel a lot. Like I'm actually Brazilian, so like going to Brazil all the time.
Oh wow!
I spent a lot of time in Australia in college. So just like getting some different perspectives on things really like definitely helped me like change my life. And just like I don't know, I didn't realize that jiu-jitsu was this like just beautiful vehicle of like you know, like evolving your like soul truly, you know, like I don't know, I just love the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like people are like, oh, the vibes. Like, dude, jiu-jitsu is the vibe.
I could tell you
like,
love that shit. Like I could tell just by like how you're talking about it that you love jiu-jitsu. Did you get a chance to like train in Brazil?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah. It's pretty tough. Really? When I was there, I didn't train a lot of places. So when I went, I have like 90% of my family lives in Brazil, so we just kind of chill with them. But I trained with this one homie that was like OG. I mean, he was a black belt before I was even born, so like he was a legend. And I was just a hungry brown belt at the time, so he kicked the shit out of me. But we could run that one back anytime. But no, it was cool. It's cool. I mean, it's just different. I think America is doing a lot of things right. Other than the president. No, just kidding. But
thumbnail.
But yeah, no, I think just the way that we think here is very different. So I think in Brazil, people are really caught in, I mean, now literally this year and last year, it's totally changed because of ADCC, and how much people realize ADCC is blowing up. But I think two things. I think the gi is still really big in Brazil, which I don't do any gi. I don't like the gi. And also just like the moves, you know, like, I don't know, the first day I walked in the 10th Planet Bethlehem and I trained with my coach, Zach Maslany, like he told me I could work on whatever I wanted to work on. Like we're drilling something. He's like, oh yeah, but just work on whatever you want to work on. Coming from a Gracie school where it was like, you're drilling this move and there's only 32 moves we're working on. And for me, it was like 5 years of that. So like every single day, just those same moves. And the first day at a new place, they're like, yeah, work on whatever you want to work on. I was like, whoa, I can be creative, you know? So like that was like a really cool side of it to me, that I was like, man, like I can like express myself on the mat, you know, versus just like following this cookie cutter mold. And I think America has truly tapped into that in terms of like everyone here has their own style. Everyone's looking to like be different in their gym, in their merchandise. And I mean, I think like one of the biggest things that's really important, not for everybody, but in jiu-jitsu at least, is competition. You know, I think competition is like where you prove what you're talking about, you know? And yeah, some people are like, oh, I don't like to compete and this and that. I'm like, shut up.
How many years did it take you, and at what level before you decided to compete for the first time?
6 months.
Really? So were you still a white belt at the time?
Super young, yeah. So because I was 11, I couldn't get my blue belt until I was 16. So
that's interesting. I always wondered how that worked.
Yeah, there's like its own belt system for the youth.
Yeah, so I went through all the youth belts in that time. Not quite like a Cade Rotula or a Ty Rotula that like they started training at 3 and literally just trained all day, every day. You know, like I was training a lot, but went through all the belts and stuff like that. It was like 6 months in, and it was really not good at first, you know, like all my competitions, you know, I mean, my competitions really just started doing really well when I was like graduated from college. So, up until that point, like in just having the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu mentality, because I knew I wasn't as strong as people, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu mentality is like, okay, we're not as strong as our opponent. They're bigger, stronger, whatever. So we have to wait until they get tired. So like I would have like 5-6 minute matches, and dudes would get tired in the last 30 seconds, and I would have like 20 points scored on me, and they're going for all these subs, and I'm getting submitted and stuff because I'm letting them work and then trying to get them exhausted. So it was like, and it also nowadays, having all the knowledge I do, I see it was like, oh, I was trying to use street jiu-jitsu versus sport jiu-jitsu. So I didn't have all those perspectives from my coach. My coach was just like, oh, yeah, go compete. It's going to be great for you. Yeah. But I loved it because it really made me confront, you know, my ego, made me cry a lot at first and lose. And, you know, a lot of like long rides home with my dad, just like him, like not knowing shit about jiu-jitsu, but just like lecturing me on like how like I can be better and how it's just like practice. And, you know, he was the one that told me like at first, he's like, yo, do you want to do this? I was like, yeah. He's like, let's do it every day then. I was like, all right, like, let's go, you know? And he was always the one bringing me to tournaments and shit like that. So big shout out to him. He's definitely the homie. But yeah, like I think everybody should compete because it's just testing yourself, you know? And like it's not about the win, bro. Like that's what people like, oh man, you get tripped up on like, I want to sub this guy and I want to be Gordon Ryan. Dude, not everybody can be Gordon Ryan. You know what I'm saying? You have to have like such a good amount of like autism and steroids, you know what I'm saying, to be Gordon Ryan. But that's what I mean. Like nowadays everything's Instagram, so it's like you want to look perfect, but it's just about testing yourself, man. It's about dropping. I have these expectations for what I want. Like obviously, be a savage. Like set yourself up to be a savage and go 6-0 in the tournament. But just let the cards fall where they're at, you know. Like and just do your best. And I think that's where like beautiful stuff arises, and you truly like grow from that. You know?
Yeah. Going back to steroids for a second.
Good question.
It's podcast time. In like sport competition jiu-jitsu, it's legal, right?
It's not illegal, yeah. So it's not
technically.
Illegal. Yeah, I mean so in IBJJF, okay, if you win the world championships, you get tested.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems
fucking
fishy.
If you guys want to write down a note to look for something, look at this year's no-gi world champion list. This was the first year.
Look it up.
This was the first year that IBJJF world champ or IBJJF no-gi world championships 2022. I was there. I competed in brown belt. I took third in brown belt. But for the black belts, right, adult, everybody else is not tested. Just for black belt adults. The guys that won and the guys who took second place were tested this year.
Yeah.
So people like Wagner, people like Cyborg, they said that their flights were like leaving early or something like that. So they just had to leave. But they just knew that they were going to get tested by the USADA or whatever it's called, you know? So literally, if you look on Flow Grappling, there's an article of like 5 different guys that got popped.
Yeah.
One of them being Wagner. Wagner was the only guy that denied the testing. All the other guys, he just denied the testing. I was literally in Miami in December. It's Cyborg's birthday, and I get a call from somebody they called somebody else, but they were like, yo, blah, blah, blah. Like, Cyborg just got popped. Like, it's his birthday, and they came into his gym to test him for.
They got him.
And they got him.
USADA.
I mean,
you said that, that's USADA.
Yeah.
Right? And what whose event is this?
It's it's the big. I mean, ADCC is the hottest thing right now, right? But IBJJF is like the thing that people like look to the most, you know. But yeah, that's what so for that one, it's illegal, right? But listen to the criteria I just said. Whoever wins the tournament.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Just the winners. Yeah. So it's like you got to win the tournament, and then like you could still, you know what I'm saying? So like I don't know. It's also like a one-time thing. So it's like the tournament's in December, cycle off in October.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty easy to dodge. But then nowadays, one thing I think that jiu-jitsu is going in the right direction, working with the UFC. I think getting involved with these UFC Fight Pass things. I don't think the UFC likes steroids, so
no, they
I
hate
think
that
they're
shit.
Gonna start in their invitationals. I think they're gonna start doing that.
I wouldn't even say necessarily them, but USADA's fucking crazy. Like I've heard stories of them showing up at like Volkanovski's door at 6 a.m. fight night, for example. Like that's insanity.
Yeah.
So what's the process like from IBJJF to then ADCC? Because ADCC is the Abu Dhabi
Combat Club,
right? And so those are like the best grapplers in the world. They're calling
those are 2 different competitions. So ADCC is one where the rule set is very different than IBJJF. In ADCC, there's obviously only no-gi. And in an ADCC, there's no steroid testing. So that's the 2 biggest things. But the bigger thing that ADCC motivates more people to get there is they pay more money. So whoever wins gets paid more money. But so for example, I'm going through that right now. How do you get into ADCC? Okay, October 14th. Atlantic City, East Coast trials. You know?
Yeah, heard about that.
So there's 66 kilos, which is 145, 77, which is 170, 88, which is 194. That's the one I'm doing.
184? Oh, wow. I saw you.
No, 194.
Wow. I
88 kilos.
You were recently competing at 170, though, so you're bumping up.
I did, yeah. But 170, it's like compete at 170 and have 8 matches. That's what it's about. Like for example, for my Nicky Ryan fight, like it was 15 minutes fighting Nicky Ryan, but at 170, like I can do that for 15 minutes. But having 8 matches throughout 2 days,
oh
man, it's hard. Day of weigh-ins.
How much are you walking around at?
Right now I'm 190.
So how hard?
So I cut 20 for the Nicky Ryan.
How hard is that process for you?
Honestly, this time was the hardest ever. But on a scale of like 1 to 10. Man, it wasn't even hard because, like, I just, like, everyone's like, how'd you do it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, it's just discipline, bro. It's just writing it down and being like, this is the diet I'm going to follow. These are the workouts I'm going to do. Yeah. And it's just straightforward. It's just hard when, like, you want to like I ate the whole time. Like people are like, oh, I'm not eating. I'm like, you're stupid. Like this is a science. Like you need to be working with a nutritionist, you know? So
is that what you were doing?
Yeah, for sure.
I hear stories that like with
everything,
like Jamal
like,
Hill.
even going back to like the question of like, okay, how do you stay healthy? If you're not working with people that know more than you,
hell yeah,
you're going to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So like, for example, you're like, oh man, like, yeah, Rene sent me a video of like how to fix my thumb. I'm going to like take a look at it. Like, yeah, that's good. But like, if it's legit bothering you, go to a physical therapist. Like, go to somebody who knows more. And it's the same thing with nutrition, you know? It's just a science. So it was really hard, like, the last couple of days. But I just stayed focused on the goal, which was show up that day on weight. And I showed up, like, right on weight, like 170 flat.
Are you doing anything else? Like, do you experiment with saunas? Do you do saunas at all?
Yeah, I did, like, a sauna and cold plunge, like, contrast. We went to a place in Austin called Kuya.
I seen it.
Sponsored us.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was sick, yeah. And then they sponsored us with IVs after, too.
Yeah.
So
how was that?
Sick.
How was the IV?
It was the first time I ever had
awesome.
an IV, so it was, like, really cool. And we did 2 kinds of IVs. We did a normal one just to get the fluids back, and then we did one called methylene blue. And I was like, what does that even mean? But they explained it to us. It was like sort of like a nootropic to make you like sort of like a not natural, but like Adderall kind of thing. And she said like all these things, and I was like, oh, like flow with the go, like my whole brain. I was like, oh, that's perfect. Like that's the vibe we want, you know? So I felt really good. And yeah, it was definitely like one of the best camps I've ever had for the fight. So I was really happy with it.
How do you reflect on your fight with Nicky Ryan?
The biggest reflection I have is that I never go into a match having a game plan. I never go into a match having a game plan. I'm always just, man, I'm in the moment, presence, trusting my whatever, you know? Yeah. And I really went into that match with a game plan.
Oh, okay. So you kind of went against your own way a little bit.
Just because I know who it is, I know what he does, and blah, 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 you know? And I was just like, he pulled guard, and I was like, that was not the game plan. You know what I'm saying? I thought we were going to scrap, you know, like I thought we were going to wrestle and do all this stuff. So that was like a small point that was like, damn, like that sucks, you know?
Yeah.
And then, just one mistake on my passing, and he swept me. And then just one mistake in going for a buggy choke a little bit too early, you know? And he took my back. And then, I mean, you know, immediately, obviously, I'm so pissed. And I'm still pissed, you know? But I don't know. I'm proud of myself, you know, because I know a lot of people would have gave up right there. A lot of people would have got submitted, you know, and I stayed tough the whole time. And sub only, no time limit. Like I don't know. I don't think he can tap me. So I think like in training, when we train together, like
at B team, right? You guys were together.
Yeah. When we were on the show, he's probably tapping me 20 times in a 10-minute round. Like I think it was different, like on something crazy. But then like. That's the thing, like when I go back to what I was saying in terms of like why I think I'm going to catch up to these guys, I feel like I can really like just channel my presence when I'm competing. Like I just can really block, like when I'm competing in my zone, like I really didn't feel it like it this time. I think maybe some pressure, some other things got to me, but I really feel like when I get to my zone, it's like a white room, me, my opponent, and literally I just feel like if I think I should do a move, I don't even think, I just go for it, you know? Like I just trust my body, like and truly, like for me, that's like what I call my brand, like flow with the go. Like that's what that means to me. And that's like traced back to like Rickson Gracie and like his origins and stuff like that.
You ever hear John Jones talking about harnessing fear and anxiety?
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really good lesson with that. Like you could let it take over your mind and flood you with anxiety and like not knowing what to do, or you can harness it and actually perform at the top of your game, for sure. And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to tap into.
Well, it's like tools, right? Like, so like a tool with that is meditation. A tool with that is breath work. A tool with that is like visualization, you know, like affirmations, just like all these things to learn how to like quiet those voices and like sharpen your focus and sharpen your presence, you know?
Direct that energy in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. At a goal, what's the goal? The person in front of you. That's it. There's no other goal, you know? And I think, but it's hard. Competition's really hard.
Yeah, no doubt. What's the culture like at B Team? Craig Jones, Nick Ryan, those guys. What's it like?
Yeah, you're rolling some killers in there.
My coach, James Delaney, shout out James Delaney, went there when he went to Austin. He was doing a strongman competition, and he rolled with, what was his name?
I know who you're talking about too. I can't pronounce his name.
Nicky Rod, yeah.
Oh,
Nicky Rod just handled him.
Yeah.
He was like, he felt like a baby with Nicky Rod.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's my coach, and he gives me like I'm the nail every time I roll with that guy. So to think that there's levels like that just blows my mind.
Yeah. So I spent like 2 weeks there when I was on the TV show Who's Next for Flow Grappling, and then I've gone back a couple times, and man, honestly, I mean, like I beat J-Rod, so like there's a little drama, you know, but Jay is so cool with me because he went on to win ADCC trials after I buggy choked him with a buggy choke. So it was just kind of like karma, you know, in the good way, you know, because before that I was the guy that got double buggy choked. So it was like karma for me buggy choking him and getting on the show, and then karma for him back again for him winning trials. So we should have that animosity, but we're tight. We're boys.
That's awesome.
And then me and Craig are super close too. We always travel and like party and hang out. So he's really cool. And then I don't know. It's just a really cool. I mean, and that's kind of crazy because like I never would think I would be in this kind of position where like I get these like great connections with people. So I definitely wouldn't say I have the same experience as other, like, because I walk in there and like I can roll with all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a random guy and you're dropping in, like they might not let you roll with everyone just because they don't know like if you're gonna go crazy or just see red or something, you know. But I would say it's like a really cool environment. I really like what they're building, and I think they're really like just on the front of like doing good things, and man, they let people train wherever and stuff like that. And I just think it's like I really like the like we train so hard. We train every day. I like the easygoing vibe, you know. 10 Planets really like that. Like obviously, like I said, the 3 days that I like red line, and train really hard. Like that's a focused practice, right? But like, man, it's just so nice to be just chilling and just like cracking jokes and stuff like that and enjoying. And I think they have a good culture of that down there.
I like his brand, Keep Jiu-Jitsu Gay.
It's the rash guard stuff.
How perfect timing, right?
Oh yeah. How are you enjoying Austin, and more specifically like the jiu-jitsu in Austin, because it's crazy there?
Yeah, so I don't go everywhere. I have like a couple friends some places, so I go to B Team. I go to 10th Planet. I have my friends like Ben Eddy, Gabe Tuttle over at 10th Planet, and there's like a bunch of people there. So that's always like a place I check in with. And then somewhere I haven't been, but I have a couple like really good friends at Fight Factory, where Andrew Tackett and William Tackett train. Cody Steele too. So there's a bunch of studs over there. So I'm really looking forward. Their instructor is really good. So but those are the places I would go to train at. I mean, obviously there's other places, but
we've only ever been. Well, we went to Austin, but we were only there one day, so like we didn't get like a chance to stop by. Well, doing this, we were podcasting out there, and we initially went to Dallas, Texas. We went to Austin for a day, and like we didn't get a stop or a chance to like really stop anywhere to like check
a comedy club
out
out there.
Oh yeah,
sick on
which
6th
one?
Street.
Vulcan.
It was Vulcan. No, we actually there was a crazy event going on at the Vulcan that night too. It was the one where Chris Williams was there. You remember that? We just missed it because it was a spur of the moment thing.
Did you guys watch Kill Tony?
Yeah,
dude,
that would have been awesome to see too.
Show, bro.
Really?
I
know.
I met Tony Hinchcliffe at ADCC, and he told me anytime I come through, just hit him up, and he'll get me on the.
Damn, bro.
List,
we saw Hinchcliffe, Rogan, and Joey Diaz.
Sick lineup.
Yeah, where do we see him at? Where was that? Atlantic City. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but no, Austin was awesome, man. I loved it there.
Yeah. You can't fuck around in Austin, man.
Nah.
We just went from Terry Black's, which was
I mean, you know,
just an experience.
Did you guys see the vlog we did for the if you guys look back to last year's, like literally, like I'm sitting there doing a vlog, just talking, and same thing, lost my match last year, so I'm like kind of sad. And then all of a sudden, like guys come out of the pit and they like look at me like, Rene, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, dude, we're going to your seminar tomorrow. And like they're like, do you guys want, like, dude, the line was like 2 hours long. They were like, do you want to like come check out the back and we'll get you in front of the line? And we're like, are you kidding me?
Fuck yeah.
And then this year the guy was even like, yeah, bring as many people as you want and we'll pay for it. So shout out to Wyatt's dad. Wyatt's dad is the man, and he just hooked us up with everything. And yeah, it was amazing. I went with JT Torres, Fione, Gabriel Sousa, my coach, a bunch of other friends, and I mean, got to shout out Terry Blacks and stuff, but just to like break bread after that, man, it's so cool.
What'd you think of Terry Black?
The best, bro.
I got a phone to
Oh yeah, tell me.
Me too.
Well, not really. So we went there. It's an awesome place. It's an awesome experience.
I'll send this to the guy. He'll hear it.
So good.
It's an awesome experience. And it's not a real bone to pick, but
it's a joke.
No, if we go back next time, we'll get treated better.
Check it
I
out.
promise.
So we went in there. It's very overwhelming when you go in there.
For sure.
It's like a cafeteria, so I didn't know what the fuck.
Yeah, we weren't ready for that. Like we had no idea what to expect.
No idea. So we went in there,
and it's about business in there.
Oh my god! They get to it. I was overwhelmed. Like
super overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, what do you want? What do you want? And there's like a whole line of people like, trying to get through. And I'm like, give me the beef rib. And give me that. And, that looks pretty good too. And fuck it, just give me this.
Yo,
bro, my bill was like $160. We ate all of it. And you ever hear
$160 for you too?
No, just me.
So like we also did this thing because our friend was treating us like the trip. He lives in Dallas, Texas, so he was letting us stay with him.
Matt Sachs.
He and I. Shout out Matt. We love you, Uncle Matt. The idea was we were gonna split his meal, but everything happened so fast that I ended up just having to put it on my card. I think we ended up.
160 is not that bad.
Well, no, I think it was 160 for him. I think my bill was like 290.
Yeah.
So like
plus 160.
So it was his meal and then my meal and then my friend Matt's meal. But it was
think
the
about
same
it.
thing
Think
for
about
me.
it. 1 pound of brisket is $30.
Yeah.
$32. It's so good.
You ever hear when the best time to kill a gator is?
No.
After he ate.
And
so, dude,
that was us.
We're filled with Terry Blacks just in the blazing
Mind you,
heat
it was like
of
98 degrees.
And we're just walking around.
It was
like
105.
It might have been. It might have been.
Texas literally stays.
Yeah.
What was it?
So we went mid-April. It was the 12th to the 19th. It was like right when it started getting hot.
Like my one friend was like, dude, it's literally been 100 degrees from the start of summer until now.
And the entire week we were there, it was like that too.
We were walking around just like, just trying to get this thing. We went to Barton Springs.
I was literally about to say the best place to chill out is Barton Springs.
Barton Springs is super sick. And then we ended up going to a gas station afterward. And then the owner of the gas station beat some dude up because he tried to rob the store. And we found out he was a jiu-jitsu black belt, which is crazy. So that just kind of let me know, like, don't fuck around in Austin. Like, you might get shot with a revolver or you might get choked out by a black belt.
For sure.
Don't fuck around in Austin. Don't mess with Texas.
It's a good vibe, though. It's a good vibe. It's a really, like, young culture. Like, a lot of, like, if you're trying to, like, go out, there's definitely a lot of hot girls. You know, there's definitely
birds in Dallas or birds in Texas. Crazy.
Different. He and I were saying, I say it all the time, like, going to Dallas, I don't know if you've ever been to Dallas, but
I have,
Dallas is probably top 3 my favorite locations I've ever visited in my entire life. Like, that's probably where, like, if I could snap my fingers and move anywhere right now, it'd probably be Dallas, Texas.
This is him right here, Dallas, Texas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Octagon MMA. It's, the jiu-jitsu program is led by
Raphael Lang,
who's a Brazilian guy.
Okay.
Came over and he trained with the Gracies and stuff like that. I think he's from a gym called Axe BJJ.
Yeah. Third degree, right? Third degree black belt.
No, I think he's like 4th degree. Yeah.
Really?
He's up there for sure. I can check it.
How many have you been around the world?
No, not
been
really.
around.
Oh, bro, you got to travel. If you think Dallas is good, bro.
That's our goal. Like, that's the goal with this. Dude, it's just like
Dallas is cool, but fuck Dallas. I like the city, but I don't like the city.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Dallas is sick, man.
Yeah. I like Austin because it's like city, nature, you know, kind of thing. Man, I would not say like Dallas is even close.
It's clean though. Dallas is very
clean. It's just like, I mean, I guess that every time I've gone, most of the times I go places, right? Nowadays I get to schedule things a little bit cooler, but most of the time I go places, it's like compete, food, leave. You know what I'm saying? So it's like just a couple of things. And this last time we went for the ADCC Open in June. And, dude, I had like 10 matches in one day. I was absolutely exhausted. And it was so hot. And there were just so many homeless people. And just like, it was just, it wasn't bad. And I've been another time. The first time I got put on like a pro show, first time I got put on Flow Grappling was like the biggest deal in my whole life. I was like, let's go.
How old were you?
I was 23, I think. Wow. It was like fresh out of COVID.
Yeah.
It was June of 2020. So like, COVID shut down.
That was still early on, like
that
too.
Well, COVID shut down like March or whatever. I probably took literally like 3 weeks, a month off.
Yeah.
And then we started training again, and I just started like sending my application to like everywhere and like Fight to Win. This was at the time where like Fight to Win was like actually still like kind of like respectable and a good show. And I was like, man, I'm a brown belt. Like let me get on, and they let me get on, and I subbed the dude, and it was like my first kind of bigger break, you know.
What do you think the issue with that is with jiu-jitsu? Like, why do you think it's not more prominent than it should be? I know, like, it's definitely becoming more popularized now.
In competing or in jiu-jitsu schools?
I guess specifically with, like, competitions and, like, the pushing of these events. Like, you never really hear about them either.
Yeah, I think we run a tournament, so I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's called the Finisher Sub Only. And the biggest reason I attribute to our success in the way of, like, pretty much, not everybody, definitely, I can't even say everybody, but a lot of people at ADCC have competed at our tournament. Like Gordon started at our tournament, like a bunch of other people, my teammate, John Thorblank. So I think the biggest problem that people don't understand when they're starting a show in jiu-jitsu to promote it and stuff is that they ball on their budget. Like they absolutely ball. Like instead of like paying lower level guys and just like not even paying lower level guys, just giving guys good opportunity, giving a good platform, paying for like good production and paying for marketing and all this stuff. They'll pay $10,000 for one guy to compete, blow 50% of their budget, blow another percent of their budget on renting a place, blow another % on their budget on like bringing girls in or just something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like pyro or something. Like, dude, what's the most important thing? You want to evolve the game, you know? So like that's the one thing that we've done really well. Like we're always not having the top guys, but we're always having the next level guys. Like we're feeding those big tournaments, you know? So that's one thing I think. And I think it's just because everyone, I mean, right? And it's so funny because this is the community that we're in, but this is the biggest problem. Ego. I'm the best and I have the best show. That's what people want to say. You know what I'm saying? I have Gordon Ryan. Like, obviously nowadays you can't have Gordon Ryan unless you got a mill on deck to pay for him, you know? But, like, I mean, like, that's the level. Like, people just want the best people. I think you need to start slow and build things organically and really focus on the community because that's how you're going to get more. Like, for example, if somebody, like, I don't know, like, let's do it. Like, literally, like, we run a show, like, an hour from here. Like, it'd be so easy for me to help you guys run a sub-only tournament up here and you guys put on for the local scene here. And that makes the whole, like, everybody's going to train hard for that. And then guess what? You guys are going to bring a bunch of your family. You guys are going to bring a bunch of friends. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, out of that event, 10 more people in the area start training jiu-jitsu. Like that, it just, that evolves the game naturally. But you kind of you have to focus on sustainability and not just like short-term clicks and views and stuff.
How many events take place around here besides the one that we went to?
You ever heard of Good Fight? That's sub-only as well. That's a tournament that's run around here. Then they also do a lot of like Naga tournaments and stuff like that. That's really it though that I know of.
Yeah, but those aren't like pro shows. You know, those are like amateur shows. So like I'm saying like, if you guys want, like, that would be really sick. I would be down to help you guys. Like, literally, all you guys got to figure out is, like, where can we go?
Let's talk. That'd be fucking cool because we know, like, literally, I would say a good fucking 25% of the people that watch us are jiu-jitsu people. Like
the majority of our guests are jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah. I think it'd be a sick idea.
That'd be really cool.
That would be really cool.
Starting our own, like.
Let's talk.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
I got to get better at jiu-jitsu, though. Like, I'm only a blue belt. I don't know if I would feel worthy enough to, like, host a show as a blue belt.
I mean, I think you just have to commit to the goal, right? And, like, listen to what I just said in terms of, like, is your goal to, like, make the community better?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. A lot of these guys think they want to make the community better, but then they think about themselves and they want to be the man and stuff like that, you know? And, like, it's just so ugly to me because I'm like, why did you get into jiu-jitsu then? You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, what I think is a problem too is that means like they didn't stretch themselves. Like that means that like they became the best in their gym and they just left it at that, you know? Like I think you always have to like, it sucks sometimes because loyalty is definitely important, but sometimes like you need to go somewhere better to get better training, you know? Like if you're capping out, you know? So I did that like at first, you know, when I went from Gracie to 10th Planet and like recently, like in the past like 2 years, I've been training like at Essential in New York with JT Torres and like 2-time ADCC champ, like all these guys. And for me, it's just like, that's just how my life is. Like, it's like, I like before when I didn't have like, maybe I had a couple of training partners that were like tapping me, like once a month, like maybe like once or twice a month I was rolling with these guys. So like in a month I was only getting tapped like 5 times. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like just because I was like one of the best in the room. So you have to chase those places that you're getting like absolutely waxed, you know. And
how often were you moving around and traveling to compete in different places? Well, not necessarily compete in different places, but training in different locations.
Only 2 years I've been doing that recently because before that I didn't have those options to train at better places. So going back to actually the first topic we talked about in terms of like putting your ego to the side, guess what I would do? I would have an intention and I would focus on what I want to get better at the day. Okay, I'm going to roll with the white belt. How am I going to get, not saying disrespect, right? But just saying.
No, like, I get it.
I'm going to roll with the white belt. How am I going to get better? Go 100%? No. Right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to work on this one habit in my guard retention that I want to get better. He's going to keep passing my guard, but I'm going to keep retaining my guard in this way. That's going to be my intention. I'm going to keep putting myself in a rear triangle, and I'm going to be trying to get out. I might get tapped by a white belt. I'm a black belt, right? That shouldn't happen. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? That's data. We're just collecting data. And like in that situation, right, this is the only gym I can train at, whatever, right? Obviously, like a lot of people in the whole world have like not that great gyms to train at. But if you put these handicaps on yourself, you can get better and you can you know, really like progress at a faster rate. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I did in my growth stages. Like, for example, going back to what we were talking about before we dropped the pod, like when I was here at Kings, everybody I was teaching was zero. They had no experience. I'd been training jiu-jitsu for like 7 years, was like pretty good already a purple belt, wrestled in college, so like obviously can beat people up. But what I used the 4 years of teaching here at Kings for is I used it because before I was focused on Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, I used it to truly develop my 10th planet techniques. So like all my rubber guard, all my lockdown stuff, all my heel hooks, all that stuff, I developed that on fresh new white belts. You know what I'm saying? All my other stuff I continue to polish, but I really took the time to like not only learn it, but then teach it and then implement it, you know? And, you know, it's been part of my journey where I'm like, wow, like, I'm really like happy that I like saw these things not as like challenges, but I was like, oh, this is just the way I have to do it to get better. You know, I wasn't like there, like complaining that I like can't drive 2 hours, you know, but like nowadays I get to like, I'm not like, of course, some days I wake up, I'm like, man, I don't want to drive 2 hours to train, but it's such a blessing to go train with some of the best in the world. So I'm so happy when I go training.
That's largely a Danaher theory, right? Where you're to train with less skilled opponents and try to refine specific small techniques in order to advance your game. Because how well would that work if you were going with a guy who's just as good as you or better than you? Like if you're just focusing on a small piece of your guard retention, like how often will you be able to have that opportunity against an equal level black belt, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Danaher, so I don't know if that's what he says, but
I think that's what he says.
Okay,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe he's super smart. But I think that's a great. I mean, against like, it all kind of like depends on kind of like how you're defining your training, right? So like, what kind of like session is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously like for you guys, like you're super beginners. Like, it's like you're like listening to me right now. Like, I should be defining my sessions. Like, I thought I was just supposed to show up. You know what I'm saying? But like with these intentions, you start really developing, getting the most out of your training. You know. But yeah, you're right. Like if I'm going against like JT Torres, I'm not focused on my guard retention. I'm focused on staying alive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but that was just an example in the way of like, it's like at the time, you know, like when I was here at Kings, like literally nobody knew anything. So I was just like, these are the little things that I'm gonna work on. And over time, it allowed me to like really like put a lot of things together.
Do you know Anthony Duardo?
Dude, that's my best friend.
Yo.
That's the guy I said that I gave my second blue belt to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I think he's the first person ever in the world to like tell me what jiu-jitsu was.
No way.
And he was my athletic trainer.
No way.
He was my athletic trainer.
This is the guy
at SEM. And then he used to always flex about how he can beat all of us up, even though we were all big and macho football players.
No way. Can I call him right now?
Please. I'm asking you like nicely. And bro, guess what?
No way.
He taught me about meditation, and he's the reason why I started meditating. And I meditate to this day.
You can put him on here if you want, if he's cool with it.
Dude,
that's up to you.
Connect to the Bluetooth, bro. And
he'll like come
hear
through
him
the headphones.
Oh
yeah, and we can all talk to him.
Maybe you want to be okay with
No. He's cool.
He's a chiropractor now, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's super smart too.
Dude, that's so insane. Here, do you have Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
I gotta find the password.
It's okay.
No, there's a new way to do it. It's easy. I don't know if I ever showed you this.
You just have to get my contact though.
Not even that. Like, look, you can do this shit now. So like, if you go on the Wi-Fi, you can just click on the Wi-Fi, click on the password, and it'll show you the password.
Wait, you gotta cut that because can motherfuckers do some shit with my Wi-Fi?
No.
No.
I mean, if you tell them what it actually.
Oh, they can't be here.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Getting doxxed and shit. Somebody calling
the
SWAT team.
Luckily,
I mean,
that's so crazy. What a small world.
We've done way worse. We've said way worse.
Bro, he taught me about meditation.
Bro,
and I still meditate.
I told him to meditate.
Really?
Like, and it's not like, oh, me taking
credit
for it.
Yeah.
But he was like, bro, I can't sleep. I was like, bro, are you chilling your thoughts? Like, are you relaxed? And he started meditating. He was able to. He's able to start sleeping better.
Yeah, well,
and I was like, bro, that's so crazy. So listen.
This is a chain of events, bro.
Wait. Let me tell you this. This is gonna be sick. I don't know why I texted Rene to me. I'm so stupid.
Probably so I can remember.
But let me tell you this. So going back even before us being in college together, dude, this is such a good story. We were arch rivals in high school.
As like just people or wrestlers or
wrestlers?
Jiu-jitsu guys? Oh, I didn't know he wrestled.
Yeah, okay. He was a stud wrestler, bro.
Oh, I did know that.
Stud wrestler.
Yeah,
but he beat me first tournament of the year, and then I beat him at the Tri-Counties, which was a huge tournament for third place. Yeah. And then bro, this hurts my heart to say, but I love him so much. He beat me on my senior night.
Man.
Beat my ass, bro. Yeah, beat my ass, bro. I mean, I got him back for jiu-jitsu after. But right, then I went to college, right? We went our separate ways. We forgot to be, but like arch rivals, like our high schools hate each other. We like despise, because like if you watch my wrestling matches like coming up, like I was gritty, like I was making
trying
people
to kill his ass.
No, I would just like I would be losing wrestling matches, and I would just go for an armbar and I would pin somebody.
Oh shit!
Like then that was a time where like armbars like weren't really like you know, but then like there was this literally, and it's crazy. Like I really like if you ask me like what happened like 2 months ago, I honestly don't remember. Like, but like it's crazy how you remember small moments.
Yeah,
I remember I worked in missions at King's, and I was like literally like working an event, and I was about to like push a door to like walk downstairs, and I looked to the right and I saw him and his dad, like his fucking jacked posture, you know?
Yeah. He's a stud.
He's a stud, bro. He's such a stud.
He's the happiest kid in the world.
Such a kind dude, so like humble.
So nice.
And I literally remember like looking at him and being like, that's fucking Eduardo. But the first thought in my head wasn't ego. It was the opposite. It was, I want him to join the wrestling team, you know? Because we wrestled 152 and 145 in high school, but now in college I was like, I don't want to cut weight anymore, so I was wrestling 174. So I'm wrestling 174, and I was like, that was the first thing I told him. I was like, dude, you should come and you should join King's. Dude, he ended up like coming and like partying with us like 3 times, just stayed in my extra bed in my dorm room, and he loved it. And yeah, we became like truly like best friends. We both quit. He quit freshman year, I quit sophomore year because I was a year ahead of him. And he was like one of my biggest partners in the jiu-jitsu club. I practiced so many moves on him. He helped me so much with his AT work and stuff like that.
Man.
It was
very smart. Is this the guy that you were like doing Muay Thai or whatever, and then he said like, or no, you were a football player and you said like, come do a real man sport or some shit? Is that the guy? Is that the story you're talking about?
That was James.
I thought that was James too, but that story sounded the same, so I didn't know.
Anthony Eduardo is the most kind person in the world, and he has like a very spiritual presence to him. He's a real like.
He's a vibe.
He's a cool dude, man.
Where'd you run into him at?
He was my trainer at SEM.
Because they have to do like
what?
Like my athletic trainer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
he might not answer.
Damn, I hope we don't miss him.
Yeah, that would suck.
No. Yo, he doesn't even know I do a podcast. He probably has no idea.
He's gonna know. Now he's gonna know.
But yeah, he posts really good.
But no, now so yeah. Fast forward, I gave him his blue belt. He continued to run the King's Jiu-Jitsu program after I graduate. He always like helped me with literally everything. And then, but fast forward to now, he's literally a fucking doctor, graduating to be a chiropractor.
Yep.
And he's like going through all my blood work with me, going through all my like what I'm eating every day, what all my habits are and stuff like that, just to like truly make me be like unstoppable.
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck yeah.
Wow. Super sick.
He's posting some really good, insightful videos on Instagram too. So
the wellness way.
Yeah. So I want to put his
Instagram is just Antonio_Eduardo, and then the thing he works with is called The Wellness Way.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, he posts some really good stuff.
Really?
So, yeah, you should check him out.
That's awesome.
It's just like, it's like holistic medicine, you know? Like, because like, obviously, I don't know, it's just so stupid. People think that like the medical system is like the right thing. Like the medical system is completely opposite. So like he's working with like holistic medicine and like truly like just like it's a really cool vibe.
I would have that dude on the podcast.
Yeah, he's about to finish school, and then I think he's gonna come back to the area where we're from, like the Lehigh Valley in Pennsylvania and Jersey and stuff. And he's gonna open up one of these things, one of these practices. And I mean, obviously he's just been in school grinding, but he's somebody who like, I don't know, man. I used to like force people into jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? Not like actually force, but I'd just be like, dude, you need to try it. Like,
that was him for like fucking a year and a half.
You go through it. I was mine was probably like 10 years. Like, you need to try jiu-jitsu. But then I think like maybe 5 years ago, once jiu-jitsu started being like cool, kind of.
Yeah.
Then I was like, all right, like I'm gonna stop trying as hard to like talk people into it. I'm just gonna be about what I'm about.
Yeah.
And if you want to try it, you want to try it. If not, whatever. But he was one of the people that I really gave like the bug. Like, dude, like, we're training 3 hours a day, like 5 days a week, going to tournaments, doing all this stuff together. And yeah, it's just like a really good man. He's one of my best friends. Yeah.
Does he still train?
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's not training
because of school though.
I see. I understand.
So he does like open mats and stuff wherever he's at. He finds a gym, you know. And dude, like that's the thing. Like him and my other blue belt, that was my first blue belt that I gave out, like officially. And because I was just a young purple belt, you know, they are like so good because like we just trained like every single day together, and I like just taught them everything I knew, like everything I knew, you know, and it really wasn't like they got. And what makes me so happy nowadays is just like they see my like trajectory and where I'm at, and it's just like so cool for them to like have believed in me when I, you know, wasn't anything, when I was just a purple belt at Kings, just excited about jiu-jitsu. You know, I had 0 accolades. I had no reason for people to follow me. And just like kind of what you said before, like about how you can tell that I love jiu-jitsu. Like they could just tell that I love jiu-jitsu and they were interested in it, and it was game over, you know?
Curious question. At what point in like somebody's jiu-jitsu journey are you able to promote people in belts? That's interesting. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you like able to like be able to promote something? Because obviously, like as a blue belt, I can't promote him to a blue belt. But like,
I honestly don't know the legit rules on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've always just gone to like whoever my instructor is and been like, "Yo, can I promote this person?"
Okay. I see.
And I promoted both of them while I was still a purple belt, I believe. Yeah.
Oh,
I think I was still no. I promoted my first blue belt when I was still a purple belt, and then I promoted my Antonio when I was a brown belt. So I don't know what the like for example, like your guys' lineage, like the school that you guys come from is a little bit more traditional. Like 10th Planet is like very not traditional.
Yeah.
So we kind of do whatever we want. But I don't know, man. Like giving promotions is like a complicated question because people are like, dude, I'm like 6 months in, I'm beating everybody. I'm beating brown belts. I'm like, okay, dude, the question isn't like, are you beating other dudes? It's like, who are you versus who are you 6 months ago, you know? And like to me, I don't know, this might sound like cringy, like it's about character. It's about character. It's not like about how hard you scrap, you know? It's like about like we were just talking about the problem of like this and that and ego, and it's like, all right, if I ask you a question, can you like work your mental around, like, you know, like understand it from like an abstract point of view, you know, and not just like, no, coach, I'll just run into the wall again. Like running into the wall isn't helping anything. You know
it's not necessarily being physically dominant. It's like mastering the mental aspect of jiu-jitsu as well.
Absolutely. That's what, you know, like really comes off to me when I'm like, wow, like people are really like learning, you know?
Yeah. I was always interested in the philosophy of like the promotions because like jiu-jitsu has a really cool like it seems like a spirit behind it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think each belt gives you a different vibe, you know? I think like being a white belt just like makes you want to be kind of like part of the tribe.
Yeah.
I think blue belt kind of gets you to that vibe of like, all right, I could beat up probably 95% of the population. And then you start
it's a really
training.
Cool feeling though. Like
it's a sick feeling. It's such a good feeling.
That's what happens to the ego though. Like you think you could fuck everybody up and you're like, whoa.
And then you train with a good purple belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you're like, whoa, okay, I can't beat everybody up. So then you either do two things. You either put your ego down and you chase purple belt, or you run away. Right, because you're scared. Exactly.
The majority of
blue belt blues
quit.
You know,
the blue belt blues.
But then at purple, man, everything just keeps getting harder. You know what I'm saying? At purple, like then you're like, I think what purple really does for people and what it did for me is like when I was at Kings is like it let me develop my game so well. You know, like lets you like just be comfortable with like playing. Like okay, I've been only passing guard for the last 2 years. Like let me learn how to play off my back. Let me learn how to play inverted. Let me do all these things. And then brown belt is just like sharpening certain things, you know, and then, man, I got my black belt this year, you know, so I haven't even been a black belt for 1 year, and it feels like it's been
what
literally
was that like?
So like it was like the weird, because I dreamt of it forever, you know, and because of like the initial thing I told you guys, like it took me 5 years to get my blue belt, and then from there it took me 3 years to get my purple belt, and then almost 3 years to get my brown belt, and then almost 4 years to get my black belt.
Wow.
Just because like a lot of different variables. Still training the whole time, but just like some gym drama and some other things.
Yep.
Which everywhere has, you know, happens. But you just gotta stay centered and you gotta just keep trying to be a good person. Yeah. I think everything will work out. But already at white belt, I let go of caring about belts, you know. So, but then like obviously I want to get my black belt, you know, and I beat the number 3 guy in the world. I'm like, riding this wave of like, oh yeah, I'm still a brown belt, whatever.
The belts are fucking cool. It's like the Infinity Stones.
Yeah. But then, dude, it's my birthday this year. And like I walk in and my coach gives me a cake and he's like, everybody sing happy birthday for Rene, blah, blah, blah. And he like does his speech and he's like, and we're going to give Rene his black belt. And everybody was like, wow. But man, it was like, honestly, like I don't think I've ever told many people about this, but it was honestly like such a high that I feel like after it, I mean, man, I had a bunch of sick matches. Like I like black belt debut and a couple matches like subbed to like high level UFC guys like Andre Petrosky and all these other guys that are in the UFC right now, like sub them like right after getting my black belt. But honestly, it was like such a high that I think I hyped myself up for that I was almost like depressed for the first time in my life after that, you know, because I was like expecting it to be in a certain way. And then maybe I'm just hypercritical of myself, but then I was just like looking at all my jiu-jitsu. I was like, man, I'm a black belt. I'm 15 years and like like analytically, like writing it on paper, I feel like I don't have anything to show for it almost.
That's what I was gonna ask
from my mind, you know.
I was gonna ask if you like at the time that when you were promoted, in the moment, did you feel like you deserved it?
Oh fuck yeah, come on, bro. I've been competing at the high level for like the past like 5 years, beating black. Like I've been beating black belts since purple belt.
Well, I know that was a phenomenon you experienced, right? Like when you became a blue belt, you said you felt like you almost didn't deserve it, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's that significant at that level. Like I think achieving black belt is much different than achieving blue belt. But I definitely had that like imposter syndrome.
No, I felt but that's what I mean. Like at white belt, I already let go of like feeling like I deserved it because I was like, that doesn't matter. It's whenever my coach gives it to me, you know. But like obviously I felt like I deserved it. Obviously I thought I was a good person. Like, you know, everybody, like I'm such a good vibe with everyone at the gym. I'm not like trying to be a dick, you know, like, I don't know, like our gym we have really good gym culture. So like for me, I was like, man, I don't know. Once we got rid of the drama that we had at the gym, like then it was like kind of like, all right, it's just kind of a matter of time. I placed third at Worlds, and then I got this big match, and I was like, man, if I win this big match, I'm probably gonna get my black belt. And I did, and it was really good. But yeah, I don't know. To me now, like, cause before like honestly, like the depression thing that I'm talking about, like before like just being a brown belt, like it felt like okay for my knee slice or for my top half passing to be all right. It felt okay. But now that I'm a black belt, I'm like, everything needs to be perfect.
That was what I was curious about.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And that adds so much pressure, bro. There's so many moves, you know, there's so many things to be good at. And competing at a high level, like I mean, I just lost my match to Nicky Ryan, but I just got another fight at in Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks against Oliver Taza, 10th in the world, you know? So it's like really good leg locker, really good back takes, really good arm, like all these good things. So it's like just I don't get it. I haven't gotten like a break really. I'm just like on to the next, you know.
When is that toward that competition?
September 24th.
September 24th. That'd be cool to go to something like that.
Where is it at?
Pittsburgh.
Dude, anything I do, anywhere you guys want to come, you guys are invited. Anytime. And really cool. And dude, it's a good connect, bro. Like if you guys are with me, like, you know, you'll be taken care of.
That'd be really cool. September 24th.
It's a Sunday.
Yeah, I mean it's not far away at all.
And dude, like you guys want to come to East Coast Trials, we'll set it up, and that's the thing. Like whatever you guys want to, if you guys want to get into the jiu-jitsu community, like bro, I'll connect you guys with whoever you guys want to talk to. You know,
for sure.
Is it a Sunday?
It's the Sunday. Yep.
Yeah.
3 weeks away.
Not only for the podcast, but like it's really interesting to get into that world as well because you're going to be meeting a lot of people and like finding a lot of new opportunities. I think to get better at jiu-jitsu, which is really cool.
Well, that's why I think I've evolved so fast too, because of the tournament that I think we run. I don't compete in it all the time because nowadays I only have matches like every other month or something like that, or tournaments every other month.
Yeah.
But we have a tournament every month and I get to watch like 30, 40 matches in one day. High level, up and coming jiu-jitsu guys. Yeah. And I mean, I also study, but just that firsthand, you know? Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like pushing you guys to be like, yo, start this tournament. Even if you guys being blue belts, you know, get your coach in the mix, get somebody else in the mix. But why it's better to get you guys running it in a couple different ways is because then your coach can compete. Your coach can headline it, you know, you can get some other super fights. You guys can decide on the rule set, you know. I think EBI rule set is the best just because it's like easy, you know. Even if you guys don't know how to do like sub only, like I can teach you guys in like 5 minutes, you know. It's super easy. But just easier than doing points or doing anything. It's just so easy when I'm out there and I'm like, combate. I mean, there's some rules that I have to be like, stop if you're doing something stupid, but It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean,
it would be awesome to do something
sub
like that in
only.
the future.
Yeah, nothing else. That's what I'm saying. The winner. Like if you get subbed, you lose. If you sub, you win.
And end of regulation, we're not worrying about who has better wrestling. We're worrying about who can finish somebody. Okay, during regulation, if you couldn't finish the person, cool. Overtime, you get start in armbar or on the back.
Yeah.
You both get equal opportunity to escape. You both get equal opportunity to finish. Who is better at jiu-jitsu? That's the question.
Yeah, so I think you did a seminar at 570 Jiu-Jitsu, right? Up in, was it Williamsport or Hazleton?
Yep, Williamsport.
What's his name?
Scott Diggs.
Scott Diggs. Shout out him. He's a part of
he's a vibe.
The Seven Nation Army, like the...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like the affiliates.
That's like all the NEPA affiliate gyms.
My boy Mike Krisnavage, I don't know if you remember him. He's a blue belt. He has a lot of potential, and he's really, really good for just being a blue belt. And he did I guess they call it super fights. And it was up in... I don't remember where it was, but he was going against a guy who was kind of like a hometown guy. And I watched the match. It was a sub-only match. I think it was an 8-minute fight. And they called the other guy. They pulled his hand. Like the other guy won. But I thought Mike was winning the whole match. So how do you think they declare the winner on matches that had no submission?
Yeah. I mean, you have to... Some promotions don't say this, but... You have to say what the criteria is. You have to say what the criteria is in terms of like, okay, number 1 criteria is control. Number 2 criteria is aggressiveness. Number 3 criteria is submissions, and number 4 criteria is, or I don't know, something.
Like attempts, submission attempts, right?
Yeah. Like when I do it, it's like if I ref at a tournament that like they're like, okay, we want judge's decision. Those are the usual criteria I put. But some people will switch up the order, and that's really important. Because, for example, say this guy that you're talking about, like, was he playing bottom or top the whole time?
Bottom. He was playing guard. He's a really good guard player.
So he's a good guard player. Yeah. But what does that look like to the ref?
It looks like you're on the bottom of the fight.
No, not like that. If those 3 things are the most important, aggression, control, and then submissions, even you just playing guard looks like you're not being aggressive and looks like you're not in control immediately. Right. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that kind of matters. But, for example, let's say switch it up. Let's say the first criteria is sub attempts, and your friend had 3 straight ankle locks.
Which is true.
So all depends, right? So it wavers in between this, like, Biden, Trump, like IBJJF, EBI, you know what I'm saying? And like it's all different, which is like obviously like something we can have a conversation about, and we can like kind of find ground. But I think sub only is just the best. It's like, all right, sick, you get 8 minutes, like, white, blue, 8 minutes is more than enough. 10 minutes for brown, black.
I know that's a lot of people's like grief with like the UFC, but there's no way you could do a sub only UFC event. Or like even like a knockout on the UFC event. Like,
dude, they used to do it like that.
Yeah, well, back in
that was the Valley Tudo shit, right? That's what they did.
No, did you watch UFC 1?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I didn't go through the whole thing.
Do your research, bro. Yeah. UFC 1 up to UFC 5, there was like no rounds.
Yeah.
It was just
no weight classes either.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying. But it was like, and that's how it was like when we were on the show. It was sub only, no time limit. Some matches went 3 hours.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't think the UFC would ever go that route, though.
Well, you can't because for viewers, right? Obviously. But one thing I think that they could switch is like, I think it'd be sick to switch from 5 to 10 minutes.
How many rounds?
3 10-minute rounds.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
that's more
dig
than
deep. Dig deep. I think the number 1 problem I think with the UFC that I think they need to get better in is the judges need to be competent, and I think they're in the process of doing that. Like, shout out to Felicia O. She's a black belt under John Jock, and she's like super high level woman jiu-jitsu. I think she placed 2nd at ADCC back in like 2001 and 2003 and stuff. Super OG, but she's like a ref out in California. So I know a lot of, not a ref, a judge. So I know a lot of people that are true martial artists that are becoming judges and stuff. And I think that's just that. I mean, it's like, let's not take the conversation off jiu-jitsu, but it's like our government, right? Like everyone in government should be doing the right job, but they're not, like it's like you should know how to do your job to have your job, right? Like, and it's the same thing with being a MMA judge,
You ever think about fighting?
Never, no.
Never crossed your mind?
Of course it crossed my mind, but it's just...
Tap these motherfuckers
It's just,
out.
I respect striking so much. And I've done jiu-jitsu, like, even when I started jiu-jitsu, like, we always did, like, real, like, MMA rounds and all that kind of stuff, and Vale Tudo, and one person had gloves, and one person didn't, and one person just had to control. But it's just not my style. I don't know. It's just not like I think my jiu-jitsu is higher level than a lot of UFC fighters, but I just think that striking is very difficult, and I think the level that jiu-jitsu is at right now, I can make a good living doing just jiu-jitsu and being in like the corner of UFC
Keep your
guys.
brain power.
Yeah. Well,
stay on top of it.
It's hard, man. It's hard, like getting kicked in the face and stuff. But
I'd imagine that fucking sucks.
I love the feeling of being in the corner of somebody that's fighting. You know, like
cool.
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the guys I fought in March, actually, Randy Brown. I don't know if you guys know him. Mm-mm. He's like a top 10 170 guy. He just started training with me like twice a week. So like it's just cool. Like high level guys are like seeing how important it is. Like, do you guys know who Volkanovski's jiu-jitsu coach is?
Craig Jones.
Craig Jones.
Yeah.
You know,
really?
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
that's
like
crazy.
You watch him getting out of those Ortega submissions, and you watch him getting like Islam, dude. Watch that fight back, and then watch the things that Craig Jones does. Like,
what'd you think of that fight, Volkanovski Islam?
I mean, emotionally, I thought Volkanovski won, but
really, just emotionally?
Oh, just emotionally.
Technically, you think Islam?
No way. Yeah, I think Islam definitely. I mean, like, cause you can't get looped into the emotions and like, yo, in the last round he took him down, and like Islam's better at takedowns. It's like, no, who dominated most of the fight? You know, I think Volkanovski did some better striking and stuff, but I just really think that those times that, like, for example, obviously it pisses me off when Islam was on his back and he's not trying to choke him. You know what I'm saying? Like when Islam was on Volk's back and he wasn't trying to choke him, like that pisses me off because he's not going for the finish, you know? Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I just don't think he did enough, you know? In my dude, and I wish he did. You know? It was hugely impressive, you know?
Impressive.
But I really noticed. I mean, I think Volk is one of the toughest guys ever
in the world.
But I think that's his brains in putting Craig with him and doing hard rounds with Craig after getting exhausted with striking, after getting exhausted with defensive wrestling, getting deep rounds with one of the best grapplers in the world. Or actually, I mean, right now, #1 grappler in the world, Craig Jones.
I think he's the most complete fighter in the UFC.
Yeah.
And especially in terms of pound for pound.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, obviously, John Jones would kill him, but I think in terms of completeness and, like, the overall, like, build your fighter, I think Volkanovski has that by a mile.
He's a stud. He's a really cool guy.
So what's your mindset like after, like, do you have an exit plan for jiu-jitsu? Like, do you have a, like, 5-10 year plan for what you want to do when this is all said and done? Getting into coaching, like, is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Yeah, of course, like opening a school and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, kind of going back to my story, right? Like, that was the first goal. Was just like own a school and just teach jiu-jitsu and just call it a day. But you know, the competition route and just like being able to travel and being able to like live my best life, is just kind of like the vibe right now. And it's like, you know, I just turned 26. Like, I feel like not even like I'm at my best. I just feel like I'm learning how to hit my stride. You know. So I think a couple more years like this, I'm ready to open up my school like right now, you know, and like financially, you know, I definitely need it. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like I'm right. Like, it's like the learning curve is like this, you know, and if I like just open up my school, it's going to go straight. But I think if I like keep pushing, I think I can really peak, soon. So, 5 to 10 year plan is definitely like open up a school somewhere. But yeah, just really like know when I like, not when I retire, but like when to take a step back from like full commitment of just like trying to be the best in the world. And for me, like really traveling, I really like, and I think I'll never like, even when I have a school, like I'll still be traveling, but nowadays I'll be gone for like 2 months. You know what I'm saying?
Do it Eddie Bravo style and just have badass gyms all around the world in the dopest locations.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep you traveling all the time.
I mean, and pretty much like I'm Eddie Bravo black belt. So like I literally can call and like that was one of the coolest things right off the bat that I was just like, wow, like this affiliation is really cool. But then from that, on top of 10th Planet, like being on the TV show, like I'll pull up at a random gym and like I was in Playa del Carmen for like a month in December after Worlds because I just like had nothing to do. And I was just like, just wanted to go to the beach and met a girl down there. And I was like, walked in the gym and they were like, dude, Rene. I was like, what's up? And they were like, were you on Who's Next? I was like, dude, what? Are you kidding me? Like, that's random crazy. Small gym in Mexico. Like, just, you know, but that's how tight knit the jiu-jitsu community is, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I just want to keep pushing it and just do my thing and see a lot of places and, you know, kind of like, keep like networking. Cause like, obviously, you know, I can't compete forever, and obviously can't do jiu-jitsu forever. So, I have like almost like a yearning, like a feeling that I want to do more than just jiu-jitsu, because like I feel like that really like kind of corners me. I think I can make good money doing jiu-jitsu, but I just feel like I want to fucking
how about like a
make
coffee
more
farm?
money.
You could ever do a coffee farm or something like that?
Did you do your research or no? On me?
No, I just thought a coffee farm would be really cool.
My grandfather has a coffee ranch in Brazil.
Really?
I swear to God. My grandfather has a coffee ranch in Brazil.
What the fuck? You being serious?
Go on my Instagram. Like literally, like one of my coffee sponsors, King's Gambit. Shout out to them. They're in Belvedere, New Jersey.
Yes,
sir. King's Gambit. That's a cool.
That's
name.
awesome.
Yeah, my grandfather's coffee ranch just got officially fair trade certified. So we're just gonna start shipping out. So we've actually already done 3 different blends from Brazil, from Nicaragua, from all these different places.
I gotta try this shit.
We had a buggy choke blend. We had a flow with the go. We had 2 flow with the go blends. And now we're gonna have directly from my grandfather's ranch. So.
I'm fucking with you. I just got off the phone with Isaac Mensa before this podcast.
Oh, okay. Sick.
And he was like, "Yo, mention the coffee."
Oh, sick.
Like
Shout out to Isaac, Gemini Kick.
Yeah.
I just hit him up before this, actually. Yeah.
And I thought that would be pretty funny, but
I was like, "Are you Cap right now, or what's?"
I gotta try that shit, man. I'm a coffee fanatic. When I heard that, I thought
that
shit was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's sick. That's sick. Yeah, no, coffee's in my blood, bro.
Blood. One thing I wanted to ask, kind of tying into like your game plan for like the realm outside of jiu-jitsu, is I really like what you do on your YouTube channel. Could you walk us through that at all? Like, what's your mindset on that? Like, do you ever think getting into content creation or doing anything like that more seriously would be something you'd be interested in?
Yeah. So, that's not me. That's my guy. You know, like Quentin 610. That's him. It's my vision. It's my idea. It's my life, right? But he's the artist. You know what I'm saying? He's the painter. And we just have this perfect relationship where like we don't even go over anything. We just like really see each other eye to eye, and I really respect him and he respects me. But yeah, my content on my YouTube, at least like my vlogs and stuff, like they're just like, I think embedded is the coolest thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like leading up to the fight, like fight week, like
those are
right.
Awesome.
What tomorrow, right? That's gonna be sick. Like embedded is so cool. And we need to get things paid for. You know what I'm saying? So plugging sponsors and giving sponsors time is really cool. And then, you know, I have a podcast. It's called Flow with the Go. It's nothing.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought you were just a guest on it.
No, it's mine. Yeah. So we've done like 4 or 5 episodes. We have a couple coming out soon. I don't grind too much on it just because it's like a side thing that like just coordinating stuff sometimes with like, you know, nowadays just training's number one. But it's cool. It's something I like to do, you know. Definitely would like to have you guys come down and like for me, like my pod isn't like this. It's like I like to do something with the person that they do. And then like, for example, like you guys could come train for the day and we just fucking sit outside and kick it. And like, you know, and just hang out. Nothing like, not like an interview kind of thing. Just like kind of like what's going on, you know.
Yeah, it's awesome you say that. Like, I don't want to speak too much on it because like he and I've been keeping a lot of it like off the net. But like we've obviously been doing this podcast for a long time. We're getting into doing like a very similar thing with like making like vlog style, content creation style videos outside of podcasting. Sick. But
with our guests.
Yeah, but it was like literally the exact idea you just said is like we've been collaborating with a lot of our guests and that's a lot of shit coming soon. So we got to keep that off the air. But so like a lot of the times like we do podcasts with really cool guests that like have a whole crazy realm outside of like the hour and a half, 2 hour conversation we get to have. So like we're starting to do more and a lot of stuff outside of that too, but like doing more like a day in the life of like the guests that we do podcasts with as well, like seeing what they do,
like let's commit. Come to Pittsburgh.
Let's do it.
Come see how I scrap. Come see how I scrap. And like I have like 4 or 5 sponsors out there, you know. Really? So like we can go link with them and stuff like that. Like one of them, shout out to Peace Love Little Donuts. They make these like little donuts.
Yeah, that's
such a vibe. My other friend is like a folk musician out there. He's super cool. There's like a super sick like wrestling jiu-jitsu school that sponsors me out there too. Shout out to Matt Factory, Isaac, and everybody. But yeah, it's just a vibe out there. It's like Pittsburgh is pretty much my like second home nowadays. I just like really got some good connections.
How far away from you are like from Pitt University?
How far am I, or
like
from there?
How far do you stay away? Like, are you in that area?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, really? Literally. Yeah,
that's where I went.
You went to Pitt?
That's awesome. No, I didn't go to Pitt. But I visited there.
Dude, Pittsburgh. You never been to Pittsburgh?
Never been.
It's a vibe, bro.
It is nice.
Vibe.
We should get out there,
dude. lock in right now. Write it down. September 24th.
Let's
September 24th.
I'm gonna sub.
Huh?
My girl will be home around that time.
Yeah.
Good thing this don't air until Friday.
I'm gonna submit Oliver Taza.
Let's do it.
We're gonna get after it.
You're gonna sub him?
Yeah.
Easy
100%.
money with what?
No way. No way. Easy money.
Oh yeah, gotta do it. Gordon style.
No, I just
write
feel
it down.
good. I just feel good. I feel like coming back from Iceland and just like not having myself to a standard in terms of like just coming back and wanting to, because I just did a hard camp for the Nikki match.
Yeah.
Coming back and not having a standard at where I want to be at, and then training again with some of the best guys in the world and doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not that I shouldn't have been doing really well, but like, I mean, I went to Iceland, I competed. It should just put me back a little bit, like my strength, my speed, my technique, everything, my focus, everything is on point. So no, I mean, Taza is a super tough opponent. I really respect him, but I'm just on one. I feel great.
What are your camps typically like? Can you I don't want you to get into anything that would expose your game plan or anything.
No. So like, it's sort of just like the structure in terms of like what I was talking about in terms of how our training sessions defined. So what it's defined by, like example, like ADCC trials is coming up, so I'll give an example for that. The biggest thing for me is setting up the routine that's going to be the same on game day. So for example, we have our training sessions, like our number one training sessions on Sunday, when like the finals of ADCC would be trials. And so like the whole week and during the week, my peak sessions are at the time that I'm going to be fighting at. You know what I'm saying?
That
like,
makes sense.
Not training at 8 or 9 p.m. and peaking.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because your energy is very different. So like focusing on how to have that routine in your morning to be ready to scrap like first thing in the morning. So that's a big thing that I do that I think really helps. Another thing, going back to like physical therapy, is strength and conditioning. So shout out to Made Strength, Craig, Sam, everybody over there. I may not look super jacked, but I feel so strong. I feel so fast. And look at me. I just went to 170, felt jacked at 170, and I honestly feel strong. I did 88 kilos last time, and I felt strong. I didn't feel weak, So I think it's not just about learning how to just hang clean or power lift or whatever, but understand you're right, what I was saying about a specialist. My strength trainer is a specialist, and knowing what I need to do, and the exercises that I do just reflect what directions I need to be strong in. I'm not just sitting there squatting, I'm doing squats in all these different directions. So when I'm passing and you see one leg over here and one leg like this, and I bend down all the way and then I hip switch that is in all the split squats I did, when I level change and I get in on a double and I pick up the guy, that's the sprints that I was doing. All these little things, not just a barbell, doing all these different things to really get my body feeling good. And then for me, honestly, the word you said, camp, that's been one of my biggest secrets in peaking these past 2 years. I really on the come up, I would compete every weekend, compete every other weekend, travel to different cities and do all these different matches. But then, these big matches that I've been having, I just put the respect on it, and I just put in a camp and just total focus and dial in routine. It really makes my life feel like it's going by a lot faster, because I'm just if you open up my Google Maps, it's just my house, PT, 2 gyms I train at, and strength and conditioning. I don't go anywhere else.
What's the typical length of your camps? Are you doing a typical MMA style,
8 weeks,
6 to 8?
8 weeks, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, your life revolves around your day is getting ready to compete every day for 8 weeks straight. You got to get your body into some weird circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
What is it getting off of that? When match is said and done, how does your body respond to after the match, after the camp and all that said and done?
Man, I stay super disciplined during camp. So to be honest, as soon as I'm done with camp, I want to party. I want to
eat some pizza. I know that's everybody's going.
Eat some pizza,
donuts,
drink, whatever. Donuts. I hadn't drank one drink from January, and I don't drink at all. It's not a habit of mine. But like recently, just because I was so disciplined, I feel like I'm leaning into the opposite, you know, like just eating stupid food too, like, like being like, yo, I can slam a Ben and Jerry's, like, nah, I'm gonna slam 2, you know what I'm saying? And then you get high too, like, fuck, R.I.P.
Throw the gas in there, it's gonna get crazy when you eat them.
But it's good to stay like goal oriented, you know, so I give myself like a week or 2 to like kind of do whatever, and then I'm back to it.
How long do you typically have in between like major competitions? So like from your last match to like this one coming up in September.
Yeah, this one is kind of close. Yeah, so this one probably only did like 4 weeks of a camp. But then this is not even a match. I mean, obviously I'm focused on the match, but I'm focused on ADCC trials is the goal.
And so that is in
October 14th
in Atlantic City, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about that in Bad Company. I think that one little kid that trains with us, that's like super awesome, badass. He's going there.
The 12-year-old, he's a stud.
Oh yeah,
that kid, he's gonna be a problem for somebody one day. I don't know.
He fucks up grown men.
That's
he's 12-year-old. Yeah, he's cool. We're Bad Company.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Shout out to that kid.
Shout out to that kid. He always brings icicles after practice too. He'll break up icicles and give it to us.
He'll take like one of like the Yeti bottle, like similar to like what you got. He'll twist the top off and it'll just be like filled with icy. So go around passing them.
Oh, that's so sick.
No, he's awesome though. Like he said, he's in there giving grown men problems. Like
that's fire. That's sick.
Yeah. So what's preparation like for that? Like knowing that that's how many months away? We're in September, and also that's end of next month.
Yeah.
What's that?
Almost 30 days away. So for trials, it's understanding the rule set and understanding the pace that it needs to be at, because ADCC is not a low pace. ADCC is a high pace. Submission is the goal, but control is the name of the game, you know? So like we focus on certain tactics and certain positions, like basically, you know, how to take people down, how to hold them down, how to pass their guard, how to take their back. Pretty cut and dry, but a lot of hard work in between each little spot, you know, and sort of like what I said, you know, those days, I guess I didn't talk about the other side of it because I talked about the competition side of it, but then like, for example, it's like my competition days are like Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Damn.
So then those days are like peak days of training, and I only will do like one hard session those days, and then Monday and Wednesday are plan B days. So what a plan B day is like, I'm like pulling guard and like trying to retain my guard, or I'm letting my guard get past and I'm getting my back taken and I'm escaping, or I'm like letting my back get taken and I'm like not letting the other hook get it. Like the little battles, because I'm already exhausted. And I strength train on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I do judo on Wednesdays too. So like just like the like sort of like the handicap that I'm talking about, right? Like, because then if I redline on a Monday, then I can't go hard on a Tuesday. So
what's like best case scenario for you in those trials? Like just for somebody like me, I don't really understand what goes into like.
So you have to win trials to get a ticket to ADCC. So best thing for me would be to submit 8 people in a row on October 14th and 15th.
So it's only
get
one
my
winner.
gold, yes,
per weight class.
Per weight class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 8-man bracket.
256.
So where do they get the rest of the ADCC guys from?
So
Is there
8
other trial
man,
locations?
8 man, or I said I have to tap 8 people because it starts at 256. It gets cut in half. Gets cut in half.
Oh,
gets cut in half. 8-man bracket would be money, dog.
Yeah. So is there like trials?
You guys could sign up for trials right now. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can sign up for trials. But for example, like I'm being honest with you guys, if like you haven't competed yet.
No, like I said, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like not even 4 months.
I wouldn't push you towards it, but I would tell you also that ADCC, so like ADCC is dope. They're doing awesome stuff, but like ADCC, they haven't opened. So for example, October 14th and 15th, pro trials, real shit going down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Winner is going to ADCC World Championships. For anybody that doesn't know jiu-jitsu, that's like the Olympics of grappling. October 13th, they have kids divisions. They have amateur divisions. They have everything. They have masters divisions. No heel hooks. No, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No slams, you know? So that's a possibility, you know?
Wow.
So like if you guys wanted to, you guys could be like, all right, let's do a vlog of us training up to ADCC trials, competing, reflecting, and then getting fucked up and watching the pros, you know what I'm saying? Hanging out.
Yeah, man. Competition is a whole different mindset.
Yeah.
It's something that I wasn't really used to. I wrestled a small amount in high school, but when I walked into a jiu-jitsu competition, it was completely foreign to me, to tell you the truth. And it was fun, though. I think that I definitely want to do more of it because I think, like you said, it's like you're challenging yourself. You're putting yourself in a scenario where you have to test the skills that you've acquired or that you think you have.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, like in this last match that I lost, I think the biggest thing that I want to go forward and make sure I don't like let the noise of like getting kind of hype and getting high level matches is that I want to win. That's not the goal. The goal is not winning. The goal is not being the best. The goal is just having fun and expressing myself. You know, like that's what makes me love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like tapping people and like buggy choking people. Like it's just having fun, going for stuff, doing things that are different, and just being yourself on the mat, you know? Like every time that like I'm like stressed before a match or blah blah blah, like the universe or God or somebody sends me like somebody and they just like look at me and they're just like, yo, have fun. And I'm like, oh shit, this is about fun. Like this is about like, even at this level, it's about having fun, because if you're not, then you're not going to do it for long, you know? And I think that's a big secret.
How did the buggy choke come into fruition? Like that being if you were a Mortal Kombat character, that's like your specialty.
His fatality.
The buggy choke, rip your head off.
Literally. Yeah, so I just was watching Combat Jiu-Jitsu, and Cade Rotullo buggy choked PJ Barch, one of my homies, and I was like, yo, that looks kind of crazy. Let me try that out. And I didn't even watch an instructional on it. I just watched him do it then and there. I troubleshoot it. That was in February of 2021. From February to September, I was just gassing everybody at the gym with it, like just getting everybody with it. And then I went to, because of 10 Planet, we have like a qualifier for Eddie Bravo runs his EBI tournaments, also his combat jiu-jitsu ones that have like combat jiu-jitsu. So this one was the qualifier for 185. I went against Derek Rayfield in the first round, who's a like really stud competitor out of 10 Planet, really good out of black belt out of 10 Planet Las Vegas. And I had him in a buggy choke for like 5 minutes, and I could not finish it.
What was it, you think?
What it was like when I was like here with it, I was just like, at this time I just thought that like pulling was the answer, like pulling hard like this. And I wasn't exhausted. Like people were saying like, yo, you're exhausted. And I was like, I literally like looked at the person. I was like, bro, I train hard as fuck. I'm not exhausted. But the key to it was lat engagement and like turning my body. So not just like pulling on my leg. Yeah. That's what hurts your knee. It was like getting this like Russian twist motion in where I get my whole stomach and back involved. But then he double buggy choked me. But going back,
how does one get double buggy choked? What does that mean?
Dude, you gotta Google
we'll
it.
have to get on the floor out there.
Yeah.
Get double buggy.
I got you.
I gotta learn more about the buggy choke.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I get hit with it sometimes.
No, I'm gonna. I right before I came here, I was hanging out with the wrestlers, and they were all telling me they want me to come teach like a little seminar for them. So I'll plan like a seminar there. I'll come train with you guys. I'll teach some stuff.
Yeah, dude.
And I was gonna teach another seminar at Pride Lands too. So I'll just hit a couple places next time I come out. But going back to what I said in terms of competing and not giving a fuck about the result, I literally, obviously, I was pissed. It was a highlight reel immediately, like 2 million views on it, viral. Yeah, like people that didn't even know me would be at a bar and be like, dude, is this you? On TikTok. And I don't even have TikTok, you know? So I was like, bro, this is crazy. But yeah, like obviously that shit pissed me off, but that just pissed me off more to not run away from it, but to make it better. Yeah. So then this picture right here was at East Coast Trials in 2021. It was the weekend before we went to film the show Who's Next. And this is Ty and Cade Rotullo's black belt teammate, Adam Bradley. And I put him in a buggy choke. Or I had submitted my first two guys, and then this was the third match. It was to make it into day 2. He took me down, immediately put him in a buggy choke, and he started to defend. And he just like defended this way, and like as I sat up, I just like shushed like Ty Rotullo. I was like, bro, from one buggy choker to another, like shut up, like let me finish this buggy choke, you know. And long story short, I didn't finish the buggy choke. I lost. But from 2 months before that, when I got double buggy choked, obviously this guy wasn't going to do a double buggy choke on me, but I worked not only how to finish it better, but how to transition. So I transitioned him out, had a sick highlight from there. But then this was Saturday. On Tuesday, we filmed the Who's Next show, and I watched J-Rod body lock pass everyone. And I was like, if you body lock past me, you're going to get buggy choked, like 100%. Like I was saying, I never like predict what people are going to do and then expect what my game plan is. But I knew he was going to do that. And visualize 100%. I always try to visualize, but I never try to attach. You know, I never try to attach to the storyline of what could be. I just let the present moment be whatever it is. So there's no like hang-ups. But then, he body locked past me and I buggy choked him, and it was like insane. And like as soon as it happened, I knew it was a big deal. But then I was sitting, this is like fast forward 6 more months. The show is about to come out. It's April of 2020. I'm sitting there. I cried my face off. I already lost ADCC trials West Coast, but I'm watching J-Rod in the finals of ADCC trials. And literally like I watch him buggy choke the guy, and I just like look at both of my friends, and I'm just like, because the show is not out, so we weren't allowed to tell anybody. So I like just go on my phone real quick, and I just like buy like 100 of my stock, and I'm just like, dude, this is gonna go viral. It's gonna be crazy. Because like he just won trials with the buggy choke. I buggy choked him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. And I was also happy for him too. I was like, man, that's so sick that he did the same thing I did in terms of like take a negative and turn it into a positive, you know? So then, that's like the whole buggy choke story. And then, you know, nowadays people are like, dude, you're just a buggy, like people online, you know, commenters and YouTubers or whatever. They'll be like, oh, dude, you're just a buggy choker and stuff. And I'm like, all right, pull up. Let's train. You know what I'm saying? But like and I get pissed at that, you know, that's ego, you know.
That's interesting.
But then recently what I've just realized, I'm just like, I took a step back. I don't know what made me take a step back, but I just took a step back and I was like, man, I guess I just killed it with the marketing. You know what I'm saying? I killed it with the marketing in terms of like I coined Buggy Choke the World. I made a bunch of, I sold like 500 t-shirts last year.
That's
like,
awesome.
It was
wait,
sick.
I think we get ours tomorrow.
Yeah, ours is supposed to come tomorrow.
I wish we had them for the pod though.
Fuck, they weren't here?
No.
Damn it.
No. Let me go check. I think
I hit up my shipping company.
I was checking it earlier. I think it said it would come tomorrow, but I don't even understand how that would be the case because tomorrow's Saturday.
Speaking of visual,
next time I see you guys, I'll get you some. I'm about to get some sick more gear. Like I have like my Buggy Choke the World rash cards on my website right now, but I have all this like custom tie dye work my friend does, and I'll get you guys some gear.
Yeah, it's in transit in Scranton, PA.
Fuck, bullshit.
It is coming from the UPS.
Bullshit. I mean, it's just, man, I'm literally like about to like just drop the shit. It's so much easier to not have any of it, but at the same time, sometimes I sell so much more having it. So that's like the journey of an entrepreneur, you know, because it's like, because it's so annoying traveling with a bunch of stuff and then not selling it. But then it's so much easier going to a seminar and 50 people being there and 30 people being like, yo, I want a t-shirt. And just like buying a t-shirt and just selling out immediately, you know?
So is that what you're doing? Like, are you traveling with a lot of like,
so that's what I started with, but then it's just such a hassle to do it all the time. And especially like, man, my car's got, I mean, it's a brand new car, but it's just, I put work in on it, you know, in terms of just like driving. So it's just so much easier from my headspace to be like, nah, bro, links in the bio, like just go on my website, you know? And then just dealing with shipping company and stuff like that, it's just kind of annoying. So I think I'm just going to pull everything out. I'm just going to be like, dude, if you need it, like DM me or something.
What's your process like? Do you design everything yourself?
No, I have a couple friends that are like good designers. So shout out to Armbar Club and Lazy Lightning Dyes, who does my tie-dye and stuff like that. But yeah, this is just a picture. So this is a picture of me actually buggy choking the guy.
That's still tough. I mean, I like it. That's what I'm getting at. I think it's cool.
What does ours look like? Do you have a picture of ours? I think it's in
the Flow with the Go one? Yeah, so it says Flow with the Go right here, and then it has the O in Flow with the Go has a ladybug, has a buggy choke. And then the Go under it has a normal yin yang.
Let's see. I think I have a picture.
To backtrack really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Could you explain what the buggy choke is for people who might not know what it is? So it's like a submission from bottom side control.
Can I like put something on screen so they can see? Is there like a photo of this?
Dude, so I have if you go on my, or not on my YouTube.
Write that down.
Max, write that down, please.
BJJ Trickster, Buggy Choke the World. BJJ Trickster, Buggy Choke the World. This guy makes some of the sickest videos in jiu-jitsu. He literally came down from Canada to like train with me. And I like picked them, but I'm like somebody like if somebody travels and they're like from far, I know how it is to be like traveling and like need a ride or just need somebody to bring you out. So I'm always the person that's like, yo, I'll pick you up. Yeah, you can stay at my house. So I just picked him up and I'm like, yo, so like, what are you doing here? Like, what did you come to train for? Like, what's the goal? He's like, dude, I came to do like a Buggy Choke the World video with you. I was like, oh, dude. I mean, you didn't even tell me. Like, I'm like sometimes like I'm here like half the year sometimes. And like if you count it up, like I'm not here half the year, you know. So I was like, man, that's perfect timing. Yeah. But yeah, so to people who don't know jiu-jitsu, like what the buggy choke is like, and why I love it so much is because and I really like, I'm getting tired of it, honestly. But why I love it so much is because it's opposite of what you think it should be. You know, it's like in jiu-jitsu, you think you need to dominate the person, this and that. In the buggy choke, I give up a takedown, I give up a dominant position, and I give you a submission. You have 3 things. It's like a 3-piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Trap.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a trap.
It's a trap.
And
here it is, by the way. I don't know if you guys could see that on the screen.
I'll put that picture here, sir. Bing, and then I'll have a video on here so you can see what he's referring to.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like these things that you can't refuse, right? But why people go for it and why it works is because you think you pass the guard and you think you have the upper body control and you don't have either of those things. And with those 2 things that I have, which are free, which when you're guard passing, you should first control the hips. You know, so like literally, if I just tell you guys that and then we roll, like it's gonna totally change the way of the roll. Like if you guys just normally pass, then you get buggy choked. But if you pass and you control the hips, I can't go for the buggy choke.
Interesting.
You know, and if you pin my upper body, then I can't use my, like it's just all these little things that like if you go back to like the roots of jiu-jitsu and how it works, but people get lazy, you know. So
how risky
that's
is
what happens. I mean, it's not risky. I mean, it's I guess it is risky. It's I say it's not risky because I'm confident in all of my defense. I'm confident in my leg lock defense. I'm confident in my back escapes. I'm confident in my back defense. I'm confident in my armbar, Kimura, everything. But for example, for like a white belt like you might not be confident in all those things.
Oh fuck no. Not confident in a lot.
But if you want to be confident in something, obviously maybe let's get some takedowns. Yeah, let's get some passing. But that's the way I started. Let's get hard to kill.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's be hard to kill. So then when you're in the match, you're like, bro, you can't. Whatever. You're not going to get me there, you know? Because you know the route's out and you can just be patient, you know? So, yeah, I would say it is pretty risky because you're giving up a lot. And, like, obviously in my last match, I went for it. And obviously nowadays, it's a brand, you know? So, like, dudes know. And then, for example, in my competitions that I do, you can get slammed on your fucking head.
Oh,
so there's one video that the guy got slammed. He just got, like, his soul went to somewhere else. Literally, like, but it's just jiu-jitsu. Like, people will be like, oh, man, it's so dangerous. You get slammed. It's like, dude, you can get slammed out of a triangle. You know what I'm saying?
Is this that B-team video you're referring to? Is it the one where the guy got, like, dropped on his head? And
no, that was from a guillotine position, and that was a completely different thing.
No.
I just thought that's what
ADCC trials.
Oh, okay.
2022, the one that J-Rod won, some guy went buggy choke, and the guy stood up and slammed him. The guy's actually my friend, Mauricio Gomez from ATT in Florida. But so it's crazy how, like, it's like yin-yang. Like, he's the person slamming, and I'm the person buggy choking. But just all I had to say is that, like, it's dangerous, but when the person stands up, you can get your guard back. So, like, if you watch my matches from ADCC Dallas, every dude I fought, I went for a buggy choke on, and they all stood up to try to slam me, and every time they did, I just put them in full guard because it went from here to here, and I was able to get my leg to the inside. And you know, I think I had 10 matches that day, and I finished like 4 matches by triangle, 3 from full guard, 2 arm bars.
I love doing podcasts with high level jiu-jitsu guys. By the way, I must say this is like the 5th or 6th one we did now, and it always makes me realize, like, man, I gotta do better. Yeah. I gotta do better. Because I mean,
you just gotta, dude. It's just such a good time to be part of it, though. You know? It's such a good time. Like, dude, like I could keep, you know, we'll be in a thread for texting. I'll be like, did you train today? You know, like, or like you'll be like, oh man, I'm sorry for messing. I'm like, all right, check out this video. Send me some notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I love about it in terms of being a teacher is like, man, let me save you $1,000 of flying to Canada and losing this fight and hurting your leg. Like, let me just teach you. You know what I'm saying? Just learn from these people, learn these things, and you don't have to learn the hard way like we did back in the day, you know? Because it's so cool, man. It's just so much fun, you know?
Yeah. So what's your take on, like, this whole crazy renaissance of jiu-jitsu nowadays? Like, you obviously got into this before it was, like,
trendy.
Yeah, the popular thing on the block. Like, what do you think of all that?
I think it's what it deserves. I think it needs more, you know? I think people in jiu-jitsu need to understand that they're more, like, I don't know, I think some people are so, like, rigid in, like, how the old school things need to be. And I'm like, bro, you got to change the market, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like this, blah, blah, blah. Like, you have to, like, this is just like, obviously it's a tradition. Obviously it's a community, but, like, this is your customer. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, like, you are the product, you know? So I think a lot of people need to think about, like, pretty much just what Craig Jones is doing, just, like, how to brand themselves and how to You know, like just, I don't know, support the people that they're teaching and not just like run a cult, you know, because like it's really easy to get put in this position where you're just like all knowing and everyone listens to everything you say. And bro, like I don't know shit about like life, you know, like I know a lot of stuff. I know a lot of stuff about jiu-jitsu, but like I could barely do my taxes, you know, like dude, the other day, my first time, I'm 26 years old. First time I popped a tire, had to change a tire. I was like, dude, this is so stressful. But I always try to keep a good vibe. I always pray. I always have good energy. Some random guy stopped and helped me. So shout out to that guy, you know.
Fuck yeah.
It's just people. It's I don't know. For one like just huge point, you know, the thing that jiu-jitsu's really taught me is that like if you're good to people, man, that shit comes back, you know. So you shouldn't be good to people to get it back to you, you know. But man, I just try to be a nice person. I just try to be like what sort of like when we were talking about before, like you guys being teachers, like what you needed when you were younger. And you know, sometimes people think I'm being like motivation or like cringy or something like that, but I'm like, hey man, like for example, like that kid I just told you, like he lost and was so pissed he lost and like never wanted to wrestle again and didn't even want to go to college and stuff. And like I was just like, dude, like when one door closes, like a better door opens, you know. And he was just like, what? You know, like, and like he's had that post-it note for like 3 years, you know. And like for me, that's the kind of shit that like I die tonight, like that shit made my life, you know. Awesome, like that little thing, you know?
That's not cringy. It's not at all. I mean, that's you leaving your mark on this fucking weird, crazy fucking universe that we live in. It's you just doing your part.
Yeah, and it's trying to be a good person, you know, like Jesus or the Bible or whatever, you know. I think that biggest message is like, dude, do to others as you want to be done to you, you know. And like I don't know, I think the world fucking sucks nowadays, you know, and people just need to like,
we need a little bit of light,
little bit of light, little bit of love, little bit of like man, like if somebody like, and that's the cool thing that I think jiu-jitsu is really giving me, like when somebody leans into me and like wants to like scrap, I'm like, bro, you need a hug? You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, let's fucking go, because I already know, in my head I already know how it's gonna go. It's not a question of how it's gonna go. I'm like, this person is like what we were talking about before, like projection, right? Like this person is just projecting their emotions.
Absolutely.
And I definitely had an easy childhood and like easy things in that, but like some gym drama that I definitely went through is that like some guy was just bullying me all the time, you know, and I wasn't in the position to like say shit back to him, but I could never sit down, bro. Like I was always, I just felt this internal thing like, man, I have to stand up for myself. Like this is what jiu-jitsu is about, you know? And what it made me really learn is it made me learn like forgiveness, and it made me learn to like not engage with those direct actions that like, bro, this guy was like, this guy was hating on me for not getting girls, or like, dude, like in the middle of class sometimes. And I was like, bro, you think I have trouble getting girls? Like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like to bring some dumb shit like that, you know? So like, it just taught like those engagements taught me not to fight harder, but to taught me to fight smarter and be like, this isn't necessary right now, you know?
Well, it's insecure. Cool. It's insecure people trying to cause insecurities in others.
Yeah, it's just a cycle, right? Yeah, and like learning how to break those cycles and learning how to evolve is fire, because then like you just live in this different world that like, you know, so many people are just trapped in, you know. And it sucks.
And that's like the game of jiu-jitsu. I mean, you're constantly elevating, you're constantly evolving and becoming a new and better person. I mean, that's what you should really strive to focus on in life. That's like my philosophy, is just try to get whatever it is that you enjoy doing, or whatever it is you enjoy that brings you happiness to your life. Just try to take measurable steps in getting better at that. I think that's all you really need to worry about.
Just progress, you know, the journey.
I'm struggling with that too, though. Like I was telling you, I work in an emotional support classroom. So all the kids in school who have problems emotionally and they burst out in anger and want to fight people and hurt people, or people who can't, or like young kids who can't control their emotions, get sent to this one classroom. And in our school district, there used to be a school for that, right? But then I guess they cut the funding for that school, and all of those kids come to my classroom, essentially. And these kids, like, I mean, you hear stories about their home lives, and you begin to understand, like, what it is that they go through, but every day it's chaos in that room. Yeah. So dealing with that, I'm trying my best to be more empathetic and not get as emotionally involved in it. But, it's hard, man. And a lot of people, like, when you're in pain, it's hard not to want others to feel pain as well.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a hard thing to wrap your head around.
Well, having awareness is so hard.
Yeah.
Being aware that you are being like affected in those ways, you know, and like just like knowing that it's not your fault. Knowing all these, like, it's so hard. Like, you can tell them these things, but to be aware of that, like, I don't know. Like, even meditation is so hard. How do you meditate if your fucking mom slaps you in the you know what I'm saying? Or your dad beats you at night. Like, how do you do that, you know? So what I think steps towards mindfulness and awareness are like, if you can't do, like, I think jiu-jitsu is a great medium because you learn to, like, control yourself. But one thing I think that, like, anybody in the whole world, that, like, it's such bullshit to me that we have these pharmaceutical companies, no one in the government's trying to keep you healthy, all this stuff. But, like, one thing that I think is free that anybody can learn how to do is learn how to breathe. Just learn how to breathe and learn how to
it's awesome you say
calm
that.
yourself down. Like, because I use it in different ways. I use my breath to calm them. I use my breath to sharpen myself as I'm walking onto the mat to compete. I use my breath to slow my heart rate when my heart rate's super high. Like, all these, like, if I'm, like, freaking out really quick, I'm just like, let just quick couple breaths. Different person. Like, I took a drug and I didn't take anything, you know? So fuck, I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but I would just tell these kids to breathe.
Yeah, that's my exact remedy. You know, that's literally what I tell everybody. It's like, and I've said it on numerous podcasts, but it's like, if you ever have like some kind of impulse reaction where like you want to lash out or you want to react negatively towards anybody for anything, I always say just take 5 deep breaths. It doesn't got to be nothing crazy. Like, just like, you could be like on some shit where you're like a little kid and you want to break your PlayStation controller because you just lost a game or something. Like, if you just do that 5 times, I say it all the time. If you still have the urge to do it after, by all means, if that's what you got to do.
No. Don't endorse violence. No.
But I guarantee you won't.
Yeah.
That's always what I say.
And learning how to breathe, right? Like, learning how to, like, use your diaphragm and not just like breathe with your chest. Like, learning how to breathe with your belly and use all the oxygen in your body. Like literally, like, you're literally completely changing. Like, it's like you're putting half gas and half water in your car versus putting full gas. Like, it's like it's completely different.
Well, when the going gets tough in any situation, like, what does your body typically resort to doing to get you out of there?
Fight or flight.
But I mean, more specifically, like, I think, like, I look at things like the sauna. I look at things like the cold plunge. I look at things like just say rolling in jiu-jitsu. Like, your body always results to trying to take in oxygen, and like the sauna and the cold plunge.
In all those examples you just said, they all result though in fight or flight, and they result in you trying to hyperventilate.
Yeah. So it definitely takes some skill, and yes. And that's like the first time you get in the cold plunge.
But you're trying to get oxygen, and you're doing the opposite. You're just you're overwhelming your body with CO2 because you're not expelling the CO2 and replenishing it with oxygen. You know
what I'm getting to is everybody hits a point in their, like, say, cold plunge experience where they're able to finally get a grasp on, like, your breath, and that makes the entire situation 10 times easier.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I think, like, that's so important for people, because it's very easy to panic and overwhelm yourself when you don't have a good grasp on the control of your breath,
or inside control.
Yeah.
Or in mouth.
Yeah.
You know, and the sweaty guy's dripping fucking sweat in your mouth, and you're like, I'm just gonna tap, and you're like, fuck no, dude. I'm gonna close these lips right now. I'm gonna off balance this guy. I'm gonna get on top, dog.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
It seems cliche and it seems weird, but I genuinely do think, like, breathing is
it's the way, bro. The breath is the way.
Yeah.
One day,
for sure,
we should all build our platforms to an immense place and then declare war on the pharmaceutical industry.
Let's do it.
We're far from that, bro. Fuck.
Yeah.
I wish
we'll get
there.
We'll get there. I was
talking dude. We didn't get into no conspiracies. I was talking to my
best I didn't know you're conspiracy guy.
10 Planet, bro.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, bro. Conspiracy guy. We would have got into it too. I
couldn't imagine. Yeah, what's the culture like at 10 Planet?
I'll talk to you about aliens for the next fucking 3 hours if you want to.
Dude, listen. Pre-COVID, I thought some shit was whack. Like, I'm a science guy. I think blah blah blah. I think, you know, space is real. All this stuff. Yeah. The Earth is round. You know.
Flat.
but no, bro. But listen to this.
Shit. It's that Eddie Bravo.
But listen to this. There's no smoke in the room. All right, relax, guys.
Yeah, relax.
But no, literally, yo, like, post-COVID, bro, I don't know what is real, dude. You know what I'm saying?
In terms of
the moon landing happen?
In terms of, first of all, the moon landing, no way happened. No way.
I'm kind of on his side with that.
To tell you the truth, I have no ammunition though. I can't argue this.
Who are we just arguing the flat Earth shit about though?
No. Earth is definitely. I don't know, man.
So
I don't know.
but
listen, this is what I mean though. This is what I mean. Everyone, I think truly, like literally, and what I mean by everybody, I just mean more than 50%. More of 50%, I believe, and I haven't talked to 50% of America, but I think 50% of America would agree that COVID was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And not only was it fucking bullshit, but the way we handled it was fucking bullshit. Man, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this because we'll get pulled in.
No, you're good. I don't think they're as crazy about that anymore. But if they are, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we can clip it. But what I just wanted to say is just that, like, it just makes you question everything, bro. It makes you question, like, they didn't, like, the treatments should have been treatments, not, oh, you're sick, go isolate yourself for 14 days. Yeah, let's let the and people will be like, oh, but you didn't know anybody. Dude, I lost my aunt and uncle in Brazil to that. Like, I'm sure a lot of people lost, like, even more people, you know? But it's just like, dude, like, I don't know. I mean, the government's just a lie, you know.
I'm happy the way it went, though, now in retrospect, because I think the idea of people having to question what the fuck is going on around them is extremely important. I think prior to COVID, that didn't really happen. People kind of just went with the flow and got, like, they fell victim to this society that cannot be taken away from us. Like, everything's sweet, everything's great all the time. I can go to the fucking grocery store whenever I want. I can go to work, I can earn a livable wage, come home, be happy. But I mean, you fucking take something like COVID, it throws a complete curveball in that. So I think the ability now to have to question some of these things that are going on in the world for people to, like, in a way, wake the fuck up, I think is extremely important.
Yeah. But I don't know. To me, it's made me, like, really go back on, like when I was in college here, I was environmental engineering major and I wanted to, like, save the world. And when I went to the Amazon, we focused on how to, like, clean up the Amazon from all these, like, mercury poisonings there. And then when I went to Australia, we were focusing on, like, how to use water in an efficient way to not, like, like cause a drought, like all these things to, like, truly just, like, you know, be an environmentalist and, like, all this stuff. And then when
that's fucking cool, dude.
And then when we came back to Kings, we designed a whole sustainability initiative, helped Kings put recycling on the map, changed all these light bulbs, did all recycle, like, designed a whole sustainability initiative.
Wow.
But then COVID happened and all this stuff's been happening where it's like, dude, like, the government's telling us that there are aliens.
Yeah.
Like, the government's pushing climate change more. And, like, man, I 100% believe in, like, climate change and global warming and stuff. But, like, it's just, I don't know, man. It just sounds like the narrative nowadays. Yeah. It doesn't sound like the true story.
What do you think that's for? Like, why would you think, like, let's say fucking aliens aren't real. Why would they want you to know that?
All this propaganda, 1982, what all these things teach us is that you cannot think, like, right, if I put you inside control right now and I just hold you there for 10 minutes, you're not going to think critically. You're only going to be in fight or flight.
Yes.
Like, you're literally, it's your prefrontal cortex versus your amygdala in your brain. It's a completely different part of your brain where you can't decision make.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the government, maybe not the government, but, like, the deep state and who controls, like, New World Order and all these different things, they just try to keep people there so they can just not keep making money, because I think they have the most money that, like, anybody's ever had, but I think they just want to keep the grip of, like, society, and really they don't give a fuck about anybody.
Control, power.
Yeah, just it, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting. We should do a fucking buggy choke versus the New World Order.
Yeah, let's do it.
T-shirt.
Let's do it. I'm in.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, you look into, like, the fucking, like, the Black Rocks and those kinds of people. Yeah, that
shit's crazy.
They have their tight mitts on everything. Yeah. And that's something that it honestly took me a very long time to figure out. I don't even think I found out who the Black Rock people were until I was, like, maybe 19, 20.
That's a good reason, though.
Nobody tells you shit.
No, not until you get out and
until you do your own research.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. Like, nobody's like,
or, like, you want to get to the bottom of anything that's going on out there. Like, I'm very intrigued by, like, just the fucking, like, just how everything, like, the lay of the land, like, honestly, anything about our society and the world extremely interests me, and especially big things like that.
Yeah.
But to find out, like, that BlackRock owns shares in almost every fucking news corporation in the entire world, it makes you think, like, well, why do these news corporations fight with each other, and why do they side with specific presidential candidates? But it's like the BlackRock people, like the deep state, they're the ones that have the grip on all of that.
Divide and conquer. It's a strategy, right? It's crazy. But I think all this is a good reason, though, to think critically and become more of an individual.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we should strive to do with all this taken into consideration.
But then the next step is build community, because you can't research everything in the whole world. you know?
Yeah.
And like you need to start on your own front by like not pushing these people around you away, but pulling them in, you know, and not trying to manipulate and tell them different things, but just being like, hey, what do you want?
Yeah.
To live a good life. What do I want? To live a good life.
Fuck yeah.
That's it.
I think that's why Rogan's so big.
Wants.
Because he's doing a really good job at building a community of people who are like trying at least to think as critically as they could.
Yeah. Be good people, be authentic, be genuine.
Work out, be healthy, eat good food.
Do jiu-jitsu, do 10 planet jiu-jitsu.
Do you think it's possible to do that at a world scale again? Do you think we can ever get back to that?
GG podcast right here.
That's what we're trying to do. I mean, fucking tap in,
That's why we got Rene Sousa on the pod. What the fuck?
Natty gang, baby.
Yeah.
Natty gang. But yeah, I mean, do you think like there's ever a reality in which like we can go back to that, where there is like a strong sense of community?
I'm honestly pessimistic nowadays.
Maybe in America, it's
and I always, dude, I used to be such an optimist, like like that anything, like we could clean up the ocean and we could do this and we can do that. And nowadays, man, I'm just not. I'm just like not, because like I don't know. You know why? Because like it took me and two friends to like clean up, me, two friends, and I'll give a shout out to my professor over at King's, us four, to like clean up a college campus.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? Like clean up, recycle. Like we went from recycling nothing at all, zero.
Yeah.
Like a couple of years ago, to recycling 15%, to recycling 17%, to recycling 27%, which like doesn't sound like a big number, but it's like 100% of that was going to the garbage, and then now we just recycled 27% of it.
That's a good point.
It's like it was solid, you know.
You had a role in that. Creating like the recycle system in King's College. Wow.
Yeah, we did it. So like we literally like not only did it, but like we did research on it. So we went to the National Conference for Undergraduate Research, and we published and presented our research. And our research was like, it was called Aligning End User Identified Issues with this Campus-Wide Sustainability Initiative. So what we did was we created like a matrix. What a matrix is just like things on like this axis and then things on this axis. And then we just like asked different people questions and looked at the different resources that we had and like came up with a system with like numbers to like balance out what are the most important things. Because like, for example, why we did that is because, for example, like a school will just give the kids like $10,000 and then they'll just like put in like water bottle refill stations that aren't necessary or something like that, right? So we designed this to see what the most effective things were for us to do with the money that we had, you know? So the most effective things were to change out all the light bulbs in the school. That was one of the first things we did. After that, we changed every single recycling can to everything's going to trash or everything's going to single stream. So not glass, aluminum, blah, blah, blah. Single stream recycling and this. And then after that, we added some water bottle refill stations. After that, we did some things on campus where we were like educating people on like how to do certain things more sustainably. And then, we did a couple other things too, but like that was the biggest things we did.
That's super noble. Like, do you think you'll continue to do shit like that outside of jiu-jitsu? Like, do you think you could fucking help to be more efficient in terms of energy in other ways in other communities with newer systems?
Yeah, I would love to.
That's awesome.
You know what? I was just talking to my friend.
So cool.
I was in Mexico a couple months ago, Puerto Escondido, a different spot. And they have like a big surf culture down there. So my friend's like a pro surfer. He's like really good. And in Mexico, they don't have any like sewage draining system. So when it rains, all the sewage like comes up and does all this mess. And he was like just putting up all these stories about it, and I'm just like trying to promote it and help him like not go viral, but just like get it to the right people. And I told him, I was like, man, that'd kind of be like a project that I would like love to work for. And I mean, like right now, like I don't even have the accreditation that I would need to like actually work on it. But I mean, if like nobody else is doing it, like why can't like at least I create momentum, you know, and create like a plan behind it. I mean, obviously, man, like right now I'm struggling to get paid. So like to do something just for free would be hard. Yeah. But it's something in terms of like passion that I definitely still do have a passion for. Yeah. So that's cool. You know, that's definitely
an interesting thing, man, because you have to prioritize yourself too in the process.
Absolutely.
And so you have to kind of work on yourself and work on, you know, it would be really awesome to achieve financial freedom one day. And then with that, then be able to work on all these projects to add, you know, value to the world in your own way. Like as an engineer, 100%. You could do that for the world. That's so cool. Yeah. We have a boy named Josh Snell. He's really cool. And he started this brand called Save the Wave because he's really into like the environment, and I guess he was surfing for a while, and he is really good at marketing. He just has like a feel for it, I guess. And he bought a bus, decked it out, traveled all over the East Coast, and helped clean up oceans.
Yeah.
And went stupid viral with it. But then all of a sudden he just stopped, and now he just skydives full time. Like the kid's probably flying
fucking
in the sky right
he's
now.
probably 30,000.
His 25th birthday, he jumped 25 times out of an airplane. I think it was like 25,000 feet.
I might have seen him. This sounds sick.
And I think he raised $25,000 for a cause similar to like saving waves and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
He's super
Shout
cool.
out to him.
I don't know how tight you are with Isaac, but I know him and Isaac are really cool.
Yeah, me and Isaac, we met wrestling, and I think it was just my senior year, but he was always super real and super cool with me.
I always forget
he's
Isaac
a good
wrestles.
businessman.
Yeah.
Super good businessman,
Yeah, he got Bo Nickel on the On the Stacks podcast. I'm pretty sure he had some involvement in that, which is awesome.
Yeah. He was on our show, and it did really good.
Isaac's
a character.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I trained with Bo.
Did you?
Yeah, like
Penn State?
Yeah, no, so
top team?
yeah, so at Happy Valley, but we connected at the wrestling gym that I said that like sponsors me. They were like one of the first people he trained jiu-jitsu with. Where he took a picture with like the white belt on.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago we trained together at a camp, and he trained with everybody, and then he obviously was like waxing everybody, and like we were having like good goes. So me and him just went for like 45 minutes straight.
Wow. Really?
And like we did I did well, you know? And then we just kind of kept the connection, and then like obviously he's been on an insane trajectory.
Yeah.
And he's like followed me and like supported me, you know, and like texted me before big matches and texted me after big matches and said what's up, and is planning to come train at the end of the month after my match with me. So
he seems like a really
such a good connect, man. Such a good guy, and just a great example of like not how to be a good martial artist, but how to be a good human. You know?
I love the content he creates.
You
You ever see the videos?
Yeah, the Wagyu beef, bro?
No, well, that too.
Yeah, shout out to Ronan. Ronan is his vlogger. He's a super good guy.
Yeah. It'll be like a video of like, it'll be like a boyfriend.
I'm going to Happy Valley tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk to Bo.
No, he's in Oregon or something right now, hunting some elk.
Of course he is.
Of course.
What else would he be doing?
Yeah,
wrestling elk out there. He's probably double-legged elk.
No, but they run a company, or Jason Nolf and the guys out there run a company called Athletes Ocean, where it's just like online instructionals and private lessons and stuff. And I've done an instructional with them, and their lead guy, John, I'm going to link up with him tomorrow.
Oh, nice, dude. That's so cool. What do you think happens in a fight between him and a guy like Kamzat, who are super high wrestler grapplers? But he says like,
no way, bro. No way, bro. Of course he would.
You think so?
You think Bo Nickel would kill Kamzat?
Yeah, bro. Are you kidding me, bro?
MMA or wrestling?
MMA.
Oh,
man.
MMA.
It's going to happen, so we're going to clip this
MMA.
moment.
No,
and,
clip the moment. Listen, this is
I don't even think
real talk. It'll happen. People,
maybe in the future, not.
People that do the right things get the best outcomes. If you don't know how to make weight, you're not a professional.
I think there's a deeper
Nah, bro, there's not.
I don't think
your number one goal when you fight is to show up and fight. If you can't make weight, that's so and I'm not making a big deal of it, but it's just like that tells me everything.
Well, across the two worlds, though, like if you want to jump into conspiracies, like I think the UFC just knew
this
that.
Guy's gonna get crazy.
Well, no, I was just gonna say I really think the UFC.
He's joking about that.
I mean, you knew it as well as I do. I don't think the UFC wanted that Kamzat and ADS fight to happen.
That's a good point. I mean, there was some conspiracy behind that whole thing too.
And it was extremely.
I feel you. But man, do you know what kind of like logistics it takes for them, like for the brand? It doesn't look good when they switch up a fight like that. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look good. And I don't know, man, I'm just not impressed with Kamzat. I'm impressed by his grappling for sure.
What did you think about the Gilbert Burns fight?
I thought it was a banger. I thought it was a great fight.
He slugged it the fuck out, but Gilbert Burns is a savage.
But that was like, what would you call that? A win? Like that was close.
That's
fight.
hard. It was a complete toss.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. And like, I love Gilbert, but I mean that's the thing about Bo. Like I really think Bo would be the next champ at 185. Like he's not gonna fight for the title right now. He's got to relax, and I mean not relax. I think he's doing perfect, but he's got to just keep developing his skills and just keep becoming. Dude, he doesn't even have 5 minutes of fucking ring time.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I wonder who they give him next. Like I wonder. But the reason I said about Kamzat before is they're trying to set up Ian Gary with him. Ian Gary's supposed to fight Kamzat.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, fucking everybody in the UFC is supposed to fight Kamzat. So there's really no way of knowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what's it called just got announced, right? November 11th. Oh, fuck, I just read it. Forget. Something Madison Square Garden.
Who do you know either of the fighters?
Headliner, I forget.
I know.
I think it's
November.
November.
November 11th.
November 11th.
Jones
UFC
Stipe,
headliner?
right?
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, Jones Stipe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
What
gonna
do you
be
think about that one?
Jones.
You think Jones is the greatest of all time?
No.
Who do you think is the greatest of all time? MMA.
MMA.
Yeah, that's John Jones Stipe.
MMA. Hard question. I would say this is emotional. Anderson Silva.
Okay. I like it.
Anderson Silva, and why I would say that is just because of complete game. Man, no. I think his jiu-jitsu is beautiful. I think it could be better. His wrestling, not great. But I don't know, man. I came up in that era.
Yeah.
I came up in the Jose Aldo era, and I came up when those guys were dominant for 10 years.
Yeah.
These guys, I'm not ragging on these guys nowadays, right? Like Connor and stuff like that. But, like, bro, these guys don't defend their belts. Like, Izzy's the man, bro.
Yeah.
Izzy wants to scrap.
You think he's
like,
going to fuck up Strickland? Strickland's a
man,
dog, though.
the last time that we saw a mismatch like this for a title fight, I think was Valentina and Alexa Grasso. And I was sitting there on the Valentina and Alexa Grasso, and everybody was like, yo, like, Grasso's going to get waxed and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, it was the same kind of thing with Nunes and Pena, right?
Yes.
Dude, you cannot ever. And why I think like that is because I'm always the underdog, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I think that you cannot count out the underdog because but I don't think he is, you know. So I do think it'll be some beautiful highlights. I hope.
He might bang for sure.
I hope he tries to take him down, and I hope Izzy hits a buggy choke. Clip.
If that happens,
because he trains with Craig.
Yeah.
When they did a podcast on El Segundo, like they were joking about them drilling buggy chokes and hitting buggy chokes. So he knows. Hit me up, Izzy.
Who's the best BJJ practitioner of all time?
All time?
Yeah.
Gi or no gi?
It's an interesting one.
Or like both? Or
is that fair? Can you say?
Well, you have to define it.
You don't do the gi, do you?
No, I started in the gi.
I don't like the gi either.
Me neither.
At all.
That shit. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Too hot, too sweaty.
Yeah. Okay, let's say no gi. Best no gi grappler of all time. Marcelo Garcia.
Marcelo Garcia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a dog, huh?
He's a dog, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Gordon is really good, Gordon Ryan. But he's just too enhanced for my taste.
Too enhanced. I like that.
Too enhanced meaning like substance?
Yeah, it's just out of control.
Yeah,
you
that
know,
is wild.
he could have stopped like 6 cycles ago, and I think he would have been fine.
Whatever happened with him and his brother? They don't really. Is that like
talk about it on the
like
pod?
an insider?
I don't know what happened.
I don't know much about it at all.
Yeah, we can talk about it after.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's honorable.
It's just some family stuff.
Yeah, that's honorable.
Yeah,
but it's not like my place to like say what their family is.
That's honorable.
But all I can say is watch Craig Jones's most recent podcast, and you'll learn a little bit about them. And just keep up to date with Craig Jones's podcast. He's dropping some fire on there.
What's that called again?
El Segundo.
El Segundo. What's that? The second?
Yeah, because he's always the second place.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Keep jiu-jitsu weird. Keep jiu-jitsu gay.
Yeah.
Rene Sousa.
Yeah. Buggy choke the world, baby.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oos.
Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me,
we went
guys.
for a while, man. We're almost 2.5.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, son, we were just
sick.
fucking flowing. Flow with the go. Yo, how'd that
That's
brand come to be? How did flow with the go?
So
because you usually hear go with the flow.
Yeah,
That's the
so it's
standard thing.
different though, right? So what my flow with the go logo is, that's not right here. It's the yin yang, but one is the brain and one is the brain and one is the heart. So it's the balance of like not to go with the flow because you just fucking lose your matches and lose like life like that. You have to like have half control, half flow, right? And what that is not overthinking or overfeeling. It's being in this center point of both of those things and just being in this like autopilot where you're kind of like you're thinking, but you're not like thinking, you know, you're kind of just in this like flow state. And to me, that's like flow with the go. And that's not me coming up with that. I mean, I kind of turned it into that, But if you watch Choke by Rickson Gracie, like a super legendary documentary by him, he says it when he's like about to go to Japan, and he's like, "We pretty much blah blah blah." Like I'll send you the quote, but it's super sick. And like he to me is the best of all time, like in everything, like like 500-0, never lost a fight, like crazy jiu-jitsu or anything. And then just like a legendary human too. Him, like, and for me, it's just the people I train with, like him, like Rickson Gracie, John Jock Machado, Eddie Bravo, my coaches, Zach Maslany, John Thor Blank, Grace Gundrum, and then nowadays, like JT Torres is one of my good training partners and new coach. So for me, like, those are the people that, like, like truly, like, man, like 5 years ago when I was in school, like, I was just like idolizing them and just studying them. And like, I mean, the only person I don't know in that group is Rickson, you know, but everybody else, like, is like a contact on my phone. Like I can hit up, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a crazy, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I like got in this place with these people, but like, I'm just, you know, coming back to like the good energy kind of part of it. I just like think it's all about energy, bro. And like, you just have to try to be a good person and just always have respect. And, I don't know. I think real recognize real, you know. So
life's a fucking trip, man.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
So if we're flowing on the go right now at home listening to this, where can they grab this merch? Where can we get it at?
Heck yeah.
ReneSousa.shop.
It'll be in the description.
Or something like that. Something like that. I forget what it is. But links in the bio. Hit on Instagram. Everything's on Instagram.
What about your personals, all that? Your Instagram, anything else you want?
Yeah, just Instagram, YouTube.
YouTube.
Check it out.
It'll all be down there.
Link in the bio, yeah. But shout out to these guys and shout out to, you know, them wanting to bring up the scene and just hit me up and wanted to promote me. So I look forward to seeing you guys in Pittsburgh, and I look forward to scrapping with you guys and training and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro.
Seems like we got
shit, this guy just got excited.
Seems like we got a couple things in the works. You guys will probably be seeing more from Rene on the channel. We hope you guys fucking enjoyed this episode. This is one of the longer ones we filmed in a while.
Rene, thanks for being the homie, bro, and bringing like a crazy vibe.
And energy, I like it.
Whoever fucking made that mushroom nootropic drink that I had before this podcast,
fire.
What I don't know what it was called, bro. But
where was it at?
You ever
some like
the House of Nutrition? It's called the House of Nutrition.
Sick,
Shout out
I gotta
House
go.
of Nutrition.
I had the lion's mane.
Wait. Last question.
Yeah.
Do you guys have sponsors?
None.
No. Whoa!
Yeah,
where are you at?
We're working on it, bro. We're working on it.
Look at this.
How about
this?
Sick. This is what we say. We're trying to build the best sandwich.
For sure.
We're trying to be as authentic as we possibly can. And, and create ourselves.
Okay,
find ourselves.
But last little pitch, right? Yeah. I train with some of the best athletes in the whole world that are world champions that don't know how to ask for what they want. If you never ask, you'll never get what you want. If we're playing poker, you can't win if you don't play. So you have to like, and what I think, right, like when you ask the question about like how I make my content for my YouTube, like my goal is to promote myself. Yeah. My goal is to show my vision and what my life is. But my goal is to grow these other brands.
Yeah.
So when you commit to growing other brands that you can support behind, shout out to All Life, House Nutrition, whatever.
Mushroom nootropics.
Yeah, but you're fired up for the
But legit, like, and shout out to Angelo's Pizzeria. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to develop the, like, truly, like, if you look at that T-shirt, on the back of my T-shirt, I have like 12 sponsors. On the front, I have 2 sponsors. Like, all these amazing relationships. They all came through jiu-jitsu. They all came through people I met in jiu-jitsu, saw my vision and wanted to support me, you know? But I think the biggest thing that helps them to support me is I support their vision of what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Man. So, like, I commit to, like, doing that. So I'm just trying to say it to, like, help you guys. Just
You're right.
Literally, bro, start a conversation. Like, people, like, think this, like, dude, you guys look sick as fuck here. Like, this is dope, you know? So
we always tell them, buy low. These motherfuckers don't even know what's coming.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
But that's what I'm saying. You go down to these, like, you go down to, like, any of these places, like, and I guarantee just start a conversation. Don't say, hey, pay me. Like, just start a conversation. Hey, we do a podcast. Like, would you guys want any, like, advertisement? Whatever, you know? And then I think it's great because then, boom, you're doing more lifestyle vlogs and stuff like that, making reels on IG. And you're just showing what they do, you know? Like, imagine you doing a little vlog of Angelo's, how many pizzas they make a day. And then
see, we're Jerry's boys, though.
Oh, really? Okay, Jerry. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Are you Kevin?
Huh?
Are you Kevin? Jerry's or Angelo's?
Oh, yeah. I like Jerry's more personally.
Oh, really?
It's not, like, deep enough to say, like, where I would pick a side.
Wow, I went a couple times, but
Jerry's is the way to go, man.
Wow, okay. I got to come back.
If you're down here, like, if you're in this little area, you got to go to Jerry's.
Next time I come back, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Do you know where it's at? Like, it's literally.
Dude,
fucking...
I went to Kings. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I keep forgetting. Yeah. Well, we do a lot of episodes with people that are just not from around this area. So.
No. I like. Wilkes-Barre sucks.
Yes, it does.
But it's a vibe. It's a vibe, you know?
It's
like,
a nice hometown
I
vibe.
really liked the time I spent here, you know? I mean, obviously, Kingston was so nice. Kingston was a vibe. But, like, man, I really enjoyed it here. There were some sketchy times, you know? Even, like, standing outside right now, there was a cool community, but some sketchy characters just went by, and I was like, hey, is this the house? You know?
At least you can fucking buggy choke him if need be.
You can't buggy choke.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Pop smoke. But rest in peace. But yeah, like I forget what we were saying, but shout out to Wilkes-Barre. Shout out to Kings.
Yeah,
Fuck
man.
yeah, Rene Sousa.
Shout out to you, Rene.
Buggy choke the New World Order. Yeah. We're coming for your heads. Who's that dude you're facing in September 24th?
Oliver
Taza. We'll see you in Pittsburgh, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we got to make it out there. It's a Sunday, so we don't even got to worry about none of that. Let's figure it out. We'll make it happen.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Boom, we did it. Renee, thank you so
love,
fucking much for coming.
Subscribe to the channel.
Yes, like, subscribe, share with a friend. I fucking love you guys. Peace.
Dude, you're fucking sick, bro.
Hell yeah.
Fuck. All right, I got to...